Good evening. I'm Matthew, your Dungeon Master here on Stories to D4, and I'm really excited to welcome you back here to the channel. If you're with us live, hey, how you doing? It's great to have you here. But if you're catching us later on YouTube, we're really excited, and we're gonna love to hear your feedback at the end of the episode down in the comments below. I don't have a lot of announcements today because I really want to get back to the table and reintroduce our party and maybe even a delightful face we haven't seen in a while. But what I do have for announcements here today is that we've actually recorded our Creator Showcase. The Creator Showcase is a one-shot we've been preparing for a while. I've spoken with a number of creators in the tabletop community who have made subclasses, who have made magic items, even whole settings. And together, we sort of ended up building this sort of one-shot where we could integrate all of this different beloved content in one place. So you at home could see demoed out this homebrew content and maybe integrate it into your own games, buy something new for your table, or just enjoy a fanciful game. Victoria is hard at work editing that session, and we should be seeing it here in the next couple of weeks. We'll have the specifics on our social media, so please stay tuned. Additionally, in all of that, before I open up to the party, I want to show real quick our creators from the showcase. Alex, if you don't mind, I want to go ahead and just directly mention some of our dear friends here. Spicy Encounters, Never Not DM, you might know him as GM Ben. We've got Kevbot MTG, absolutely fantastic. We've been singing his praises, it feels like for a while now, just some really fun subclasses there. We've of course got Brave, who has an incredible setting, the Shattered Realities. And of course we have Scald. Now, you might also see that I'm here on this list. We're trying out a new subclass of the Magus on the one-shot. You can bring me back now here, Alex. Contrary to what you've seen with Illilie, we've got something a little bit sturdier that's in the one-shot. And I'm really excited for you all at home to get to see what we've created. Let me go ahead and bring it back to the party. And welcome back, Jake!
We have a Jake again.
Tiring.
Yeah, absolutely. I was waiting for you to do something ridiculous.
Stacking dice is harder than I remember.
Wait, you were here. You were like a little plushie in the corner?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's Pride, and we've summoned Jake.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Happy Pride.
Groki was a good
Groki, yes.
replacement.
Was there a Bulbasaur?
Yes, there was
I think there was a Bulbasaur.
and a Glaceon.
I felt
And a
safe with
Glaceon.
Bulbasaur.
Yeah.
Wow, you got to be 3 Pokemon. When is it my turn?
Maybe when you're older.
Oh.
I have missed myself being here, yes. No, I miss no.
Well,
Called out for my youth.
I'm incredibly excited to see both Jake here visiting once more, your dear friend, but also to have Silas be returning here.
Oh,
It
yeah,
has
he
been
did.
one hell of a day since you've left.
I left that morning. Nothing could have happened. It's been a
No,
morning.
it's been one day.
One day.
They couldn't burn
All
down the
one
city.
day.
Just one day. We also, the last things I want to say here is, hey, Stories of D4 is something that we make. There's a lot of love that goes into creating these characters, creating these locales, and writing some encounters for these sessions. And if you like what we do, we'd really appreciate if you'd come and subscribe on our YouTube, or if you are willing to, you can come subscribe here on our Twitch. You can sub with Prime for absolutely free, and all that money kind of goes right back into the channel just to help us get new equipment to record the sessions, or new miniatures for me to torment my players with. I think, do we want to jump in, or do I go to Connor?
Wait,
Connor get lasties?
Connor.
Do we also say Happy Pride?
I did the Jake, but I guess not as general.
To everyone.
Happy Pride!
Happy Pride.
Was my
Also,
pride not
Jake, you did the tower
It's
wrong.
not.
supposed
It's
to be
also
high
not
numbers
for
at the
you.
top.
Just
No,
for
you
you.
put the Look, also, I did this so quickly. I'm proud of myself.
Jake,
You
I'm
should be.
also very proud of your dice.
It's very proudful month.
Oh my
It's a
god.
very prideful month.
Anyway,
Yes.
Crit Corner.
Quick one.
We're gonna go from the fact. We're gonna go over to the crit corner. Connor, how you doing?
Doing good. So, last session, we had some pretty great rolls. And by great, I mean me. And by great, I mean bad. So I'll start with the natural 20s, because it will start good and go to bad. So,
Tell me of my
Almost-
success. I don't want
almost everyone rolled a natural 20 last session.
to. Did Jake?
No.
In
Oh.
part he did.
But
No.
I didn't roll a natural 20. Gwynwin had one when she was still alive. Ismini had one.
Wait, no.
Elle had one.
What's this written by Gwenny's name?
I don't know what that is. I don't remember.
She was taking over for another character.
Oh, that's right.
didn't she? So she never actually.
You made it as Gerard.
Gerard,
Yep.
yeah. Ralnor, natural 20. And then you had a natural 20 as well. We'll just skim over that one.
Yeah, whatever.
Ralnor had a
Pretend I'm
natural,
not here.
natural 1 as well. Ismini had a natural 1. Elle, you had 2 natural 1s.
Ooh.
Matt, you had 2 natural 1s.
So we both rolled 2, but I'm rolling for multiple people.
Yeah.
I would like another person to split out my nat ones.
Moving on to the what I've listed here, dumb boy rolls. I have a 0, 1 0, and a -1.
Yeah, you win.
And I put under the -1 just with an arrow pointing to my name, Thorn.
Aw.
No one else can roll that.
Well, now.
I don't know.
Well, we don't know.
I've never seen a negative modifier in my life.
I'm incredibly
That's
excited.
not true.
I know.
Fun.
We've got a couple of negative modifiers here. I can let you know that there have been some very interesting dice rolls going on behind the scenes. And as we get into our recap, and I can tell you a little bit about last time, you will know why one of our players has been working on their backup player character. Is there anything else before we talk about what's happened here? Since we lost our dear Silas, he went off on his own little adventure, but maybe Jake needs a refresher on what the party's been up to.
How long was Silas gone?
One day.
One day.
Less than a day. No. The day's not even over
You
yet.
went on
No,
a day
it's
trip.
like the sun is set. It's
been like-
you left before the sun rose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 5 hours.
You left me a note.
You went on a day trip.
You just left me a note.
Well, hopefully you left me a note too before you left.
The plane?
Damn.
It's okay. This is how we handle death. So what
Coping
happened? What did I miss? Other
It's the
than
best way to cope.
Well, I think we should talk about what happened last time on Stories to D4. For the past few sessions, our party has been dealing with the fallout of a recent crack in the criminal underbelly of Eltz. One enforcer by the name of Mr. Bugarda, formerly of the Ladrone crime family, has broken off, taking a huge number of the soldiers and thieves and brigands who were involved in the Ladrone crime family, and setting off to get his own territory and take control. Bugarda was fed up with the idea that the Ladrones wanted to move out of the more violent side of the crime business and start running their own casinos, maybe shaking people down a little bit less. And so he decided that his first act as the new crime boss of the West End was to send a message to any who would question his authority. Sending a large group of his men, some of which were disguised as these false soldiers, they were wearing Eltzian soldier armor, he went to have them burn the weeds to the ground. The weeds, though poorer than many of the areas, were still filled with so many lovely faces, including Laurentius's Uncle Rickard. However, Mr. Bugarda unfortunately had not prepared for a group of heroes to come and attack. Our heroes, the Defiant Smiles, took on Mr. Bugarda's men and protected the weeds. After the attack, the party oh my gosh, there's dog pictures being passed behind the camera. All of you people.
it's a cute baby.
After the attack, the party rested, but unfortunately, the following morning was not quite as pleasant as they had hoped. Silas departed, heading off to meet with Iris Perkins to eventually make his way through a favor with a local High Lord to learn more about Boris, who had recently been murdered. Well, Silas was gone, and the party was just having a bit of breakfast. Mr. Bugarda had sent a hit squad to their home. There, a familiar knight, Kieran Shadal, as well as a series of shadow monsters and a powerful master assassin attacked the party, nearly taking several of them out. In the end, the party was able to drive off the assassin, though they sustained heavy injuries in doing so. And so they set off, meeting with the Ladrone family to get permission to actually hunt down a former member of their crime syndicate, and also to make sure Mr. Ladrone knew that the party was working towards similar ends, and maybe an exchange of information was in order. Getting a bit of help from the Ladrones, they were able to fan out and eventually learn the location of Mr. Bugarda, who had snuck away inside one of the military keeps of the West End. This was possible because he had taken over control of the military there, sending out false orders by the hand of his pet assassin. The party purchased some new magical items from an ally known as Miss Bean, and eventually made their way back to Bamberg Keep, the hold of Mr. Bugarda. It was there that they were able to fight off against the last vestiges of Bugarda's men, breaking his tight grip along the West End itself. But in the process, the master assassin split the party. While the party was able to eventually defeat the assassin, they were not able to do so before one beloved person, Gwinwin Granfir, took her last breath. Struck down by his spiked chains and tossed into a vat of caustic acid. Our heroes lost one of their dearest friends. Fury pulsing through their hearts, they continued further into the keep and eventually confronted Bugarda himself. Now, with a new ally, a Crown's Guard who had been magically manipulated the same way the party had seen in the past. They slew Mr. Bugarda and they captured Mr. Bugarda? I mean, my notes were very wrong there.
He was making death saves, so we didn't kill him.
Right.
I thought you.
We'll talk about that in a second.
We made sure he was alive.
Taking down Mr. Bugarda, the party was able to take down Mr. Bugarda, but unfortunately, the guards and a familiar face had arrived to arrest them for the many crimes that they have since been accused of. It is here that we'll begin our session and apparently come to a conclusion about a certain piece of information. We'll start our session here. There seems to be some discussion here about Bugarda living or dying. I didn't review the end of the last session.
I personally did not try to kill Bugarda.
You did not. Silas, you're far away from here.
Going into last combat, every person involved agreed that we were not killing him.
Okay.
Because
this-
they were like,
I
"You have to
absolutely
put him
am
in
fallible.
trial."
Gerard is the one who
Exactly.
reduced him to 0, but I don't think it was a lethal blow.
It was
Right.
not lethal, very deliberately.
This absolutely. Jake hasn't been here for 3 weeks, so I'll blame him.
That's fair.
No, but so I do apologize. It's a very easy thing for me to swap here in my notes. But not rendering Mr. Bugarda unconscious. You all are still currently held within Bamberg Keep. You've submitted to have manacles placed upon your wrists. They're not putting in your legs. You're not being put into, you're not being changed to one another. But the collection of soldiers here before you, it's about 15 or so men and women here, just Eltzian guard here, led by Miss Rolemnon, Adon's dearest friend, Sophia. She seems disappointed, the fury in her face having...
She's not
So
mad.
much worse
She's
than mad.
disappointed.
No, she was... You saw it when she came here, spear in hand, ready to fight you for what you've been accused of. You've attacked a military installation, and during yesterday's conflict, when Bugarda sent a bunch of men there, you know several soldiers were perished in that fight.
Oops.
In our defense, it was my fault.
I will lean over.
Self-defense?
Elle will lean over towards Ismini and go, "So who do you think the house is gonna send?" Because I'm really hoping it's not your sister.
I'm really hoping it's my sister.
Well,
You know what? That's fair. That's extremely fair. As long as it's not my mom's, I think we'll be fine.
I think if your mom showed up, we'd be good.
No, I think this is good. We finally get to meet your moms.
enough! My men are gathering Bugarda, as you said, from the lower levels, but we should move. I would prefer to have you out of manacles. I'm putting a lot of trust in you by bringing you to the castle. At this point, as a reminder, you have been disarmed. Your equipment carried by what looks to be one of the sergeants who's here with Sophia. So a couple of the men are carrying, 'cause this is quite a bit of stuff. But it is currently, the three of you, a caged Ralnor. And though he's not wearing shackles, you also have Gerard here, who was the Crown's Guard that you rescued last session. One thing I do want to make sure that is in the party's inventory is his damaged collar. So if anyone would like to note that collar, it is a collar of submission.
Okay.
You want to put it down?
So would this Gerard person be speaking on our behalf to maybe clear our names?
This is as you're like being escorted out of the keep. So you're walking here. You guys have barely made it out of the auditorium where Gwinwin lost her life. Gwinwin, you're told they're grabbing some medics and is going to be brought on a stretcher to bring to a guard wagon. So there's going to be a carriage essentially brought for Gwinwin. But as you're kind of heading out here, making your way towards the exit to the keep itself, Sophia, I don't know precisely who all will be allowed to speak on your behalf, but if a member of the Crown's Guard wishes to do so, that is certainly his prerogative. It will take, I imagine, some time to summon the High Judge. The reading of the charges, I don't imagine, will be more than a week out.
Got it.
What are the full charges levied against us?
Well, unfortunately, that's part of the process. She kind of seems a little bit unnerved with you guys just kind of chatting casually as you're being brought to prison. From the limited report we were given, they involve the deaths of nearly a dozen of my companions in the Eltzian military, along with your attack here on the keep. Though I'm certain there'll be more when the reading of the charges is performed. But I think, perhaps, you may exercise your rights. Silence is a useful thing to have sometimes.
And what of our friend?
She will be brought along shortly. Having the medical staff will retrieve her and bring her to the castle. Your things will be stored separately, but not terribly far.
So, me not really caring about charges, I want Gwinwin to be brought to the best cleric we can find in the city.
I'm not the right person with that sort of authority.
Who can I speak to?
I'm going to make a quick roll. I'm doing a patience roll, if you will, here.
As we drag our feet before being hauled off.
Yeah. You're currently... So at this point...
I figure we're just kind of
You're
walking along.
Walking out of these front gates. Well, as you make it out to the courtyard, because remember, you're in a keep, which has a wall, like a walled-off courtyard outside of it. As you kind of step out, you see there is another squad, another 10 of these Eltzian guard here.
I haven't said a word.
Yeah, I noticed. It's a
You will be given all the appropriate information in due time. I will go and as your friends have asked, put in a good word, as you have Issel nobility with you. I would advise your friends to teach your... She calms herself a little bit. You see, as she does, the magical tattoos on her back once again reforming into these large kind of brown feathered wings. It would be wise to consider your words before speaking that way to anyone in the castle. I hope that these charges are for nothing and that you will be free and clear.
Yeah, I'm just not concerned with the charges. I'm concerned with my friend being dead.
Sorry, she doesn't...
Yeah.
Yeah, she absolutely doesn't giggle. If you are released, you will of course be given permission to... you will be given, of course... Her body will not be desecrated in any way if that's a concern of yours.
I'm concerned that we will have lost the time that we need to bring her back, if that's possible.
I will speak to those I can. I know a few members of the temples in the city, and perhaps there is someone I can contact.
Okay, thank you.
With this, she turns over to one of the men here, just says, take them, and takes off, the wings sprouting from her back, still like giving a light orange kind of orangey light from her back itself as the magical tattoo is invoked. She takes the skies and begins flying outwards. You would know in the direction of Shelt. This Volcar, this elite Eltzian warrior, continues her flight away from you.
I will never trust her again. She's been written off.
What is all the passing notes today? What's going on?
We're planning.
Oh no.
We're conspiring.
Oh. What?
So, do they take us to Shelt's like via boat or?
You are currently being marched there. As you're kind of heading through the streets here, you're not entirely certain because, as you know, there is no direct bridge here. The only bridge that was going to be there is the Nine Arch, which was never completed and is now a prison. What? Please, speak your mind.
Keep going.
Keep going. I'm done with this.
Interesting. I thought you would be the most happy with Sophia.
She can't see an obvious truth in front of her. Can't go back and just figure out the barest minimum of information. Absolutely not. We were here on multiple contracts.
I'm a soldier. I follow orders.
I know I'm supposed to be into that, but
You're
I'm
the only
not.
lawful person in the party.
You all are
I'm
currently
awful.
within.
Yeah, but
Not anymore.
You're currently within the Arches, which is located very close to the Tincto Bay. You're over near Hollyfandra, so you're in the northern section of the West End, and you are brought further eastward, eventually making it down to the docks there. There is a ship here. Large crimson masts being pulled down as you begin to approach. You'll be brought by boat. As the men begin leading you towards the dock, towards the gangplank to rise atop. This is one of the only times the men have directly placed their hands upon you as you are brought to the gangplank. Hands are placed on the chain that connects the manacles at your wrists in order to make sure no one's leaping from the gangplank. I have to ask at this point, as you're being brought from the Arches to the castle, I'll tell you that I'll be pausing at the plaza before the castle if we get that far. We're doing anything during this time. You were kept relatively separate in that it would be difficult for you to have secret conversations without some sort of subtle magic, as you're physically close to quite a few of these guards.
Is there a wall behind me?
I mean, our friend just died.
Well,
I can be the
When?
intermediary if you want to have a secret conversation.
On the boat.
We're all going like.
on the boat.
you're brought below deck.
Well, just gonna close my eyes and relax on the boat. I'm
Is
thinking.
Mimi's really calm? It kind of makes me worried.
I'm mentally like, please do not blow up the boat.
You don't know
I think
what
she's out of fireballs. I think
You
She's
always
never
think,
out
you
of
never know.
fireballs. Wizards always have a trick up their sleeve. This is how magical, powerful
Technically,
people
I
work.
can get out of this situation.
I could also get out of this situation.
As a quick reminder, you don't have the ability to use somatic components at the moment.
I don't need somatic components.
Just wanted to clarify that
Who needs this?
that is the downside here. Of
I
the
don't
ban.
need somatic or material components
Semantic
to get out of this.
Same.
Misty Step.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go over elsewhere.
Elsewhere?
Elsewhere, if you will. Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what the puns are. Exactly what I'm looking for,
Nice
Jake.
one.
Thank you.
Oh, I tried. Oh, wait, it's me.
Let's talk to Silas over the course this next little bit of time here. Silas, you've had I would say a very pleasant day up
Yes.
until the very end.
We had like crumpets. It was really nice.
Sleep.
You have waking up early at Iris's summons. You were told the location of the Behringer Manor, where you would be brought to call in a favor. This favor, of course, was to have Walt Behringer, who owed Iris, help get you into Boris Octarine's apartment. Boris was killed by the painter, and you're very concerned. You were very concerned previously.
No idea.
You guys are manic today.
It's Pride Month.
Oh, is that why?
Boris's apartment.
You were told that Iris, through means of Walt Behringer, may be able to leverage you being able to get to the apartment. You headed into the Bulwark Forest north of the West End, following a minimally traveled road, and eventually came upon this massive fortified manor in the woods, just off the beaten path. Large stone and wrought iron walls surrounding the outermost portions. Its architecture ancient. It's a very old looking building. Its style is not quite matching what you're used to in the West End. But when you arrived, these gates opened for you expectantly. And where you may have expected butlers to greet you, or perhaps to see someone riding about on horses or enjoying the gardens, you instead heard the familiar sounds of hammer on stone, as it looked like one Walt Behringer and one of his attendants, a dwarven man, are just working on a stone fountain in his courtyard when you first arrived. This we've discussed. We talked about what your downtime was here, so I'm going to kind of keep things moving. During your time here, Walt was incredibly generous, offering you a fine meals, at fine wine, and also making sure it was clear the first time anyone visits the Behringer estate, they are guests as the king would be a guest. You were not to lift a finger while you were here, save to do that which you enjoy. So you got to explore a little bit of the Behringer Manor, see some of his curios that he had collected over his maybe storied life as a high, wealthy lord. You got to see, some of these notes are hilarious. I misspelled pocket watch as pokey watch. It's very different, by the way.
I need a Pokewatch.
There was even an offer of him procuring a mount so that the two of you could take riding lessons with Behringer. Brominger, if you will. But eventually, the day moved on to more pertinent topics, and you made a charcoal image of him, stylized similar to the familiar portraits that dotted the walls of his ancient home. Though the staff there was bare bones, they were helpful when they did appear, about half a dozen to a dozen faces in total over your time in the massive estate. You learned a little bit about his duties as the protector of the Temple of Shar is the fair way of putting it. Though he did not allude to where the temple itself is located, he told you about the duty of the High Lords is to help the people over the city, and his duty to the crown is to ensure that the temple was safe. Eventually, the two of you made your way to Shelt, going through a strange tunnel under his manor that led to this tunnel led to an underground river that made your way to the Tincto Bay. It was there that you passed by a beautiful Eltzian worship, brilliant crimson mass, which you can no longer appreciate as the world of yours is in black and white now.
It's fine. It's like losing a friend. You just never get over it.
Passing by this worship, you made your way to Shelt, and you were met by a carriage, one of Walt Behringer's many carriages, as it is one of the services he offers. And you were brought on a roundabout trip to Boris's apartment, stopping by fine ladies and noblemen throughout the city who he had to drop off gifts and pleasant tidings, just offering an appearance to several individuals on his way there. It wouldn't be until sundown that you arrived at the apartment. The apartment, which overlooks the plaza before the entrance to the Mudrust Castle, the capital crown jewel of Eltz. The apartment is in a large building, surely filled with lords of great standing, merchants of absurd, unknowable wealth. Has a small sort of wrought iron fence around it, painted with brilliant sage green and like a pale yellow on the outside. These beautiful, almost like they're molded plaster like crenellations at the top of the home, almost giving it a fortified appearance, but not taking away from its architectural beauty. You made your way up with Walt Behringer. he asked if you wanted to be alone for your investigation. What did you say, Silas?
Investigating's always more fun when you have a friend.
The man who once drunkenly danced with you and did the Silas.
No.
Was it the Silas or the locks?
It was the locks.
It was the locks,
Yeah,
excuse
'cause
me.
You drop it and then you locks it.
Pop, locks, and drop.
Drop it.
You're getting so much radio play. It's insane. Inescapable.
Entering the apartment, which perhaps we'll describe in more detail in the future. Lavish, filled with beautiful iconography of... there's like a motif in most of these rooms here of brilliant stars, swirly patterns. There's a massive crystalline loom that is set up in the foyer. Brought deeper in still, your investigation of the bulk of the apartment is cut short as you see a few things of note. First, on one side of the room, relatively close to you, you see open double of these like not Venetian doors. Is that the right? That's not quite it.
French doors?
French doors. Thank you. These large French doors that lead to a beautiful stone balcony with these very intricately carved sort of railing. But you see that kind of marring this view that would show you the plaza itself is a pool of now browned, dried blood, the remnants of the man who died here recently. You see the along the floor, stretching further into the center of the room to the macabre sight we'll get to in a moment, just this trail of blood as if something was dragged or crawled along the floor to the Count's final resting place on the balcony. You see above you, not quite gleaming, though you're sure if the candles were set, they would be, these crystalline chandeliers that have dotted the apartment, brought low and set upon tables with a pulley system from the ceiling, with wax candles partially removed here. It looks like they were replacing the candles that would actually be placed in the chandelier. Save for two. The pulley system that you've seen in several of the rooms here, in one section has been warped, pulled out the metal reinforcements in the plaster ceiling. You can see the metal bars holding two of these large pulleys has been pulled down and loose and roughly tied to one another, allowing two of the chandeliers about halfway up in the room still wobbling back and forth, each with a wide metallic plate upon it. On one of them, because you're about seven and a half feet tall.
Yeah.
So you there, kind of standing or taking a few steps up onto the patio, or just a little bit risen up, can see further in. On one, a mountain of gold and platinum currency. There's wealth. And on the other is a heart. A single human heart. It is the source of the trail that you see along the ground. The final thing of note here in the room is a covered, is a familiar sight, a covered painting. You can see that around it is tightly bound silk rope that has been used to hold on whatever material is here. The place itself required Berenger's entry. He was able to schmooze some of the guards, use his influence to High Lord to get you here, but you're certain no one other than the military really was allowed to be here. There's around at this point where you see some familiar faces walking along the plaza outside. You see Ismini Callister. I would say you're probably being brought here in the front, walking near the closest, the corporal. Kind of stepping here with you. I don't know if you guys would notice, Silas. I'll leave that all up to you, but you can see Ismini, you can see Laurentius, and you can see Alilie. Additionally, you hear from the wagon that is being, the carriage that is being pulled behind. It's a rough carriage. It's almost like a, is it lorry? What's the paddy wagon? It's definitely like this carriage is designed for, to put like prisoners in generally. But what you hear is, you just hear Ralnor yelling out from in this
Perception
carriage.
check 23. Did I see him?
Hey man, Normally I'd give you crap for that roll, but I think that's fine here. I'll allow it. I didn't hear the die, but I believe you.
Oh, it was.
You see Silas
19.
hands on the railing, kind of looking down over at the party.
I go like this.
You hold up the manacles, give him the bird,
You're mad
and
at
you
the
watch
gods.
as they're escorted the drawbridge to the castle. There's no physical moat here. I'm sorry, I said drawbridge, and that's absolutely the wrong thing. The
Gate?
There's a better word for gate, but I'm gonna go with gate. But you watch as this crossbar of wrought, of heavily well wrought steel and wood beams begins being pulled up to allow the party entrance into the castle. What are you doing, Silas?
Thorn taught me that hand signal. It's we're all okay. We love you.
It's never mind. I'm not gonna
Honestly-
say what I was gonna say.
Gonna go take a nap for the rest of the day?
Honestly, I'm probably going to be arrested shortly after this. I came here for a job to do. I'm going to look at the painting.
Jake, I love you.
1 second, I'm gonna go to page 6 of my notes.
Yay! Skipping 4 pages. 5, 6.
Pulls out.
5 pages.
Skip ahead.
Look, you taught me that hand
One
sign.
sec.
We're
All right.
okay.
You lie to it and locks it on once, it comes back to bite you, is what I just learned.
Jake, I need you to roll me a d20. No, this is not a saving throw.
Is it a charmed fact?
No.
Actually, no, this one. Go for it. D20? I got a 7.
Porculus.
Thank you, Porculus.
You know what?
No,
I'm just not
no,
even going
it's,
to worry about that
ECAPs.
one.
Ah, thank you so much. You wanna...
Yeah,
What is this for?
I love
7.
the
I got
Oh,
a 7. That
you
scares
can't
me.
use this on a luck check.
Oh,
that's
that's
not
fair.
an actual game term.
Okay, cool. Then I'll keep this for a rainy day.
Yeah, I very rarely say no to bicycles.
Nervous. You got a 7?
Yeah, at least I rolled something.
As you begin, you see the words here, but you want to do this under this anyway. Is that correct?
Yes, I want to see it. It's
Perfect.
had an effect on everyone.
I'll hold off on saying these words until you see the painting proper. Then, how's that sound? We talked outside of session. Pulling a small knife from your belt, you begin cutting through this thick silk rope, very sturdy, sturdier than regular like hempen rope. And as you're cutting through here, eventually, this piece of material, which you notice is very fine, it was likely pulled off of a piece of furniture and put onto this canvas. As you pull it back and see the grisly scene of these two scales as they continue to move in the painting, back and forth. The words written in the blood of Boris Octane. How much, what is the value of a life? What is the value of nobility? What is the value of honor? And finally, what is the value of your soul? Jake,
Yeah.
I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw.
It was life.
Life, nobility,
Need
honor,
your-
your soul.
Oh, yeah, y'all aren't even here. What you writing this down for?
Because you'll tell us.
Can I actually ask what kind of a save this
You
is
don't
for real?
tell us you're gonna be mad.
Huh?
What kind of a save is this?
You can ask if it's a specific thing, if you have something in question.
Charmed or frightened?
It's a frightened effect.
I have advantage on those because I'm cute. You want to give me one of your dice? If I get a 1 on this one, wisdom save, 17.
There's a brief moment where, as you're sitting here, you just feel something watching you. And you can't you can't quite make out perfectly the eyes, but as you're looking at these scales back and forth, balancing this heart versus all of this wealth, probably, you'd have to wager it's more than 5,000 gold pieces in total. Easily more than that. As it's going back and forth, it eventually slows its oscillations in the painting and stares at you. And through it, you just see a pair of brown eyes looking back at you. You take 36 points of psychic damage, halved to 18, and are not paralyzed. But as you're standing here, I'm gonna roll for Walt Behringer.
He didn't have to look too.
said 36?
Yeah, 36.
You watch as kind of standing there, this nobleman watching. I'm assuming there's some sort of reaction as you're almost shunted backwards by this pressure in your mind here, as the painting looks through you. You resist. He steps over to look at what you're seeing, and he recoils as he's kind of knocked back, clutching his temples, strikes his shoulder against your chest, and are you bracing him, or are you just going to let him fall? What do you do?
I'm going to try and catch him.
You catch him, clutch him close, and the two of you stand here as this eventually... It's like the winds of a hurricane have stopped, but you can feel them ready to come back. What are you doing?
I have a superior healing potion. Popping it in his
He
mouth.
is conscious.
I don't care. He's hurt. This hurt me for 36. I can recognize pain. I just want to make sure he's fine, because if I kill a High Lord, I would be like y'all.
Okay. Taking the grandest form of magical healing available to you, quickly offering it to him. He's actually in no state to refuse. He is conscious, but it certainly hurt him, and he's still kind of reeling, this effect seemingly hitting him harder than it's hit you. You've seen these paintings before. You remember the first time it was almost impossible for you to handle.
Yeah.
You're a little more acclimated, you think, than this person, perhaps. But you're able to offer him this healing potion, restore him, and almost just in this hoarse whisper, cover it. I'm sorry for being so direct.
I should have warned you. I didn't think you would look. I was slip of the mind.
You should consider your friends. You told me about them over brunch. You had associates that had looked into these sort of things before?
Yeah.
Whatever this is, allies, in my experience, allies, I suppose, are always better to have than to keep it at arm's length.
Thank you for the advice.
I'd like to get out of this place. Boris, I thought this would be... I've seen a lot as a High Lord, but I knew Boris to be a gentleman.
I lost a friend at the beginning of this, so I understand it's not easy. It's something that carries on with you for a long time. Oh, I'm talking about Oswald. Hurt.
No, I know.
You know.
That's why we're reacting.
Did something happen? I am deeply confused as to why you're writing on something. I'm talking about Oswald. Doesn't really get better. I think about him all the time.
He's giving him his
Meanwhile,
number.
we're like shuffling across the plaza.
No, fine. He told me this is probably a plan to stop the mob. I couldn't see
Eleanor
Gwenny.
yelling in the background.
No. I couldn't see Gwenny.
I need Amanda and Connor to not look at this note that I'm giving to Jake, and I want Jake to give it back to me so it's not even a chance. He says a few last words to you and excuses himself.
Should go get more alcohol.
In real life or as Silas?
Yes.
Yes.
Called it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, no, let's get out of here. This is a dreary scene, to say the least.
I will of course inform the guards you and yours are to have free passage here. And Boris was a friend.
I don't just have to do this for a friend of mine. I have to do this for a friend of yours now, too.
Well, I hope you can call me a friend and that I can be there for you, should the need arise.
We've been a friend since that dance. It's a good time.
He jokingly does a little bit of the dance here.
Coping with humor.
Yeah, we are.
You share a sip from his flask here.
Dancing in a crime scene.
No, at this point you've stepped out.
Yeah, no, we're in the street now.
But is at this point, let's turn back to the rest of the party because we'll go ahead and continue on here. You have been brought to this beautiful gate that has now risen up as you step through the portcullis. I never always said it was portcullis as a kid.
Portcullis.
There's no I in the middle of it. I don't think.
Unless you
Yeah.
dream it.
if you can dream it. So as you continue on your way through, again, you're surrounded by these 3 squads of guards, weaker than you, certainly, but the stony faces here, the looks you get from them for what happened at your home, for the Eltzian blood on your hands.
Oops.
You're brought within the castle grounds. The keep itself, it's fine. It's very fine, but it's so much less militaristic than what you saw at Bamberg Keep. You can see sloping arches, spiraling towers, which actually curve and bend. Some of them with a bit of life to them that you haven't seen in some of the other castles and fortifications in the city. You're brought to the main gate. The doors opening for you, and you're quickly shuffled just eastward as you enter the castle. You can see there's a large, this golden door with not a keyhole, but what looks to be an arcane rune of some sort has been placed on it. As you arrive, one of the guards standing outside of it places their palm on the rune, which opens the door, leading to a brilliant wing. You see that along the hallway here there are fine cabinets containing all sorts of curios and like glassware. There's actually you can see an actual rack with wine. You see, proceeding further in, there are more of these. There look to be a series of these doors, gilded filigree around their outsides here. The soldiers look angry, and just one of them speaks. These are your accommodations. See that you stay within them. Someone will be with you shortly. If you have questions, hold them for someone else.
Waiting until they leave, I'm gonna look at Ismini after they leave and be like, "How you're smart. How fucked are we?"
Well, we have like diplomatic immunity, right?
The door, as it closes, there's a brief flash of like this bluish light along the door. Bounces along the wall. Like, you watch this effect kind of shimmers like a tremor in the wall.
Are we being?
And you're here. There's a whole wing available to you. Your manacles unlock, and you have free movement once more.
We might be.
You don't have equipment. You have your clothing. If you had armor, you were asked to doff it before this.
Okay.
So you're wearing
I complied.
basic clothes. You don't have spell books.
Okay.
As a quick clarification.
Okay.
That's just something his brain can do, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll mind link with Ismini and say, "How fucked are we?"
We are, but you have to trust me.
Fair enough. I'll mind link with Elle and relay the information.
Are you guys? There's no talking that happens.
Nope.
All through mind link.
We're all
It's a
making
game of
I'm-
telephone.
eye contact.
I'm literally not even looking at them. I'm just like,
I have a question.
kicking
What are the
rocks.
components? So this is feat. This is not your spell detect thoughts.
This is my subclass feature. This is mind
Yes.
link.
So there's no components to it. One quick reminder is any of your spells with a material component are not castable in your current state.
Correct.
I can cast spells.
Yeah, I can.
I
He's got
feel-
weird stuff.
I will relay back to you.
Cyanide
Either
doesn't
Ismini's
have
gotten
material.
it,
Yeah.
either Ismini's gotten it, or someone from the family is gonna come and yell at us and take care of it. We'll be fine.
Okay. I think I'm more concerned with how long this is gonna take.
Oh yeah.
Is there gonna be a lot of red tape?
Almost definitely.
Yes.
We're switching mind links back and forth.
Don't
Learn telepathic bond already.
Oh wait, you guys don't
Ninth
have that? I
level.
have
That's what
that
we did
since
last
level 3.
don't break me out.
I'm not going anywhere.
Can I find a
Yeah.
flat surface to start doing
You both are.
for physical exercise on?
Yeah, as you kind of walk through, there is a dining hall here with a long table. There are also 10 bedrooms of lavish quality.
What's the bar sitch look like?
There is, in fact, booze here. The men did not appear to be happy bringing you where you are.
I'll say this out loud. Anybody want a drink?
Oh my god.
We've had a day.
That's how they get you. No, thank you.
Yes?
Yes.
Let's go back to Jake.
Thank goodness for family sigils, right?
Silas, you've left the apartment. Walt has ordered a carriage for you if you'd like to, for himself, because he's going to go return to the docks. But where are you going?
Well, my friends just left in manacles. I might as well go get some information. I'll go to the Defiant Smiles, see like what order they took today.
You're gonna leave Shell?
You're gonna leave Shell?
Should I not?
Okay.
No, just
I'm just curious what y'all were up
shouldn't
to.
have asked. Shouldn't have asked.
Y'all,
Silas?
is dumb.
He's able to secure you passage back, but unless you're telling him you're coming back again, you do know that you wouldn't be able to get from the West End back to Shelt without the Noble. Unless you have a solution that a non-standard solution to that.
A favor. I only know one high person in the Eltzian military, so I'm gonna ask for help. If he doesn't mind, getting me a way to contact Sophia. Sophie, thank.
At this point, it's probably about 9:30 at night.
Oh, that's fair.
It's like nighttime. Your
that's
friends have been
fair.
escorted into a castle. He could try to do so. You just, it would take me a few days, but I could absolutely get you in touch with a member of the military.
Do you know what happens when people get arrested and go to the castle?
Have you told him you saw your friends?
Yeah.
'Cause he didn't see this.
Oh yeah, no. I was like, oh yeah, my friends got arrested. You might not want to be seen with me. Sorry.
If they've been brought to the castle, the primary dungeons are not within the grounds of Mudrust Keep. So they would likely be brought to the Silk Wing. It's a ransomer's wing. It's noble prisoners of war, or if an ambassador from a hostile nation were to be here. It's protected and comfortable, but it is a prison in every other way.
Should I expect a trial?
I can look into this for you, of course. If it is urgent for you to see them soon,
Oh, should I get arrested?
that is certainly an option. If you'd like to simply rejoin your companions.
No, that's dumb. That's dumb. Oh. What would you do in this situation,
Hey,
sir?
Jake, you're all on your own.
Yeah, I know.
We're all sitting here going.
We're just like I'm like this because I cannot do anything to you.
Yes, that's exactly the energy. This is the energy I want as a GM when I'm like giving you a hard question.
Yeah, it's if there's.
Hey.
Oh my God.
Do you need
Hunter
anything?
coming in clutch.
Go.
Okay, cool.
If there will be a
Oh,
trial,
I got beer.
if there will be a trial, can you make sure I'm in the audience?
The High Judge would be brought within the throne room for a trial, typically. There is a lesser hall of judgment depending on how many have come to witness and speak.
I have a strong feeling it's not going to be a lesser hall of judgment kind of a moment. Ah, screw it. Just get me arrested with them.
You watch as this man, his chest puffs up a little bit. He smiles.
I'm gonna get
I
a
like
white
it.
bow. Remember me if I don't make it out of this alive.
Oh, I'll see you again in the next few days, I'm sure.
Yeah, conjugal visit.
You're far too interesting.
I'll try. I truly try. Bless.
How would you like to get arrested and brought? Are you going to the front gates or are you going somewhere else? is
The
my
castle's
question.
right there.
There's a front gate which is guarded by soldiers.
I'm gonna go in style. I've got my paint kit. I'm just gonna start throwing paints at the door. I don't know how to get arrested. I've never been arrested before. I think break the law. Vandalism. This is wrong. How am I supposed to get arrested? I'm breaking the law.
Okay, you're getting
Breaking the law.
Hi,
getting
my name is
arrested?
Silas. I'm with the Defiant Smiles.
Silas?
Yes.
Make me an int check.
about to say like
God.
I'm gonna get arrested for vandalism. Go somewhere else.
What's a 5 get me?
A 5 is the DC for this. You can talk to the guards. That is an option that probably will have some sort of, they would be able to either provide you information, or you're a wanted man. You don't know, though. With that low of an int, you don't know what will happen particularly.
You know what? That's better than my idea. I'm gonna go to the guard station.
Heading up to the gates, as you step closer and closer, you watch as the wall seems to almost grow. It's massive. The towering size of this stony bulwark. You remember the first time you saw it was the king's speech. You saw the man still somehow looming large, even though he was so small in comparison to the structure he stood upon. Heading up closer, you watch as one of the men, he's got a gilded pauldron, but otherwise looks to be a normal soldier here. Step up closer. Citizen, no entry into the castle after sundown.
I don't believe you've heard this one before. I would like to be arrested.
Hand on the pommel of his sword.
Clapping the knives and such.
If this is a jape,
I have like 20 weapons on my back. Just take any of them and all of them.
jape.
Yes.
Lieutenant? Rimu, what is it? You watch as carrying the scroll, this halfling soldier, and unfurls a scroll.
Halfling.
Oh, we didn't have our rights read.
Can't reach.
Yeah, well, I didn't break the law.
Identify yourself.
Silas, Defiant Smiles, the four and the dinosaur thing that came through earlier. I'm with them. I'm offering myself.
Watches another whistle, this time low, and 2 quick notes in succession as the men begin to encircle you.
Oh, here, let me just.
You will-
the weapons first.
Well, this is unexpected,
So
but
compliant.
I'll note in my report you came in willingly. I am
believe
going to
it.
ask you to... my men are going to attempt to doff your armor.
No, let me do it for you. Just start taking it off.
My men are going to assist to
mm.
ensure that there is no trickery here. We've had... As the men begin like removing your gauntlets and taking off pieces of your armor here, they're not stripping you. They're not leaving. They're not. They're being. Some of them are being a little bit rough. There's so much confusion here as you go. The armor getting removed. We've had adventurers previously, mercenaries some, but we've had adventurers attempt ruses through similar means in the past.
No, take it all. I'm not trying to ruse, but the poor life you've lived. I'm so
It's
sorry.
absolutely adventurer bullshit.
Yeah, it
You
is.
won't tell me it's not.
It is, and
poor-
especially
the
this
guy
is the
you
one
can roll
adventurer who
nat
wouldn't.
20 on inside check and be like, oh god, he's honest.
No, he is honest. I feel bad for this man. The poor life you've lived. I'm so sorry, sir.
I'm crying little tears.
Do you just tell this man to his face you feel sorry for this man?
For the things he had to put up with. Why can't all people be good citizens?
demeaning for
No. Why can't everyone just be a healthy, happy citizen?
Be happy. Be
Yes. Oh god.
You.
Yes. You can manacle the trunk. Oh, I actually have some of those. I have some of those in a bag back home.
But as you're being disarmed here, you know you'll soon be brought to your companions. Let's jump back to your companions.
Did I do something wrong?
I almost choked on my ear.
I'm challenging L to shots.
Let's go.
else am I gonna
Last
get
one standing
arrested?
wins.
May the best
No,
half elf win.
Not you.
Exactly. Thank you. Half elf here.
One
Let's
sec.
go.
Hey, that first bottle of whiskey, this small little thing, is not particularly impressive. It's not too bad. Make me a con save, each of you. Taking these shots. You're finishing off this bottle.
It's not good, but okay.
Bad for me. Really bad.
16.
Yeah, I got a 10.
10.
That's with a +6.
10's fine. As you're going through here, pounding them back, having a good time. You guys continue along with what's going on, taking your drinks.
Wait, actually.
Do you want to go for another bottle?
Yeah.
If it's wrong, just change the number, Chloe.
Yeah. I'm just doing the math in my head.
I heard there's some
Bad at
some kind of secret at the bottom of this bottle, so if we finish it, maybe we'll
8.
find
It's actually
a
12
thing.
for me.
You're fine.
Yeah, secrets.
Yeah.
Totally. Mr. Secret Keeper.
I heard a
Make a
story,
con save?
story about this brand.
You guys taking this strange bottle of, it's faint, it's almost transparent. It's like faintly green liqueur.
That's where it's the last one. 14.
I got a 3 on the top.
Are you gonna die tonight?
Yeah.
11?
Couple things. 11?
If I have to throw up, can I at least get his shoes?
How
Or
much?
his nice
14.
coat?
14. Those are both fails. Couple things are happening. You guys are here on the second bottle, about halfway through. You're wobbling at this point.
Yeah.
You're not feeling great, but you're holding it a little bit better, but you know you're both struggling.
Deception check to confirm I'm sober.
The magic pulse, the walls shimmer with blue once more.
I lean over to look in
As
the
if-
doorway and I fall over.
Yeah, you're drunk.
No, tripped.
Liar.
Silas steps into the prison with you. It's gorgeous.
I try to pour another shot.
There is red, Silas, there's this carpet is, though you can't tell it's bright red, but has this pattern of crossbars on it. You can see the walls themselves have this delicate wallpapering, gilded, sort of like crown, this beautiful crown molding. It is lavish. The only place you've ever been to that is this opulent was Behringer's home. It's been a beautiful day.
I'm gonna
Best
run up to
place to-
Silas and hug him. And
Oh, he reeks.
Silas!
Hey,
I'm crying.
No, I just went to go to
Back away.
No, y'all are blackout
His beanie.
with news to tell Silas. Just to remember that.
I'm definitely
Oh.
crying.
Don't tell Silas. I'm gonna be in so much trouble. I'm
Oh my
hiding
god, you
behind
guys got.
her.
They got
Ellie is
wasted.
hiding behind Ismini. They got drunk. It's been a while.
Yeah, I'm crying on
Ralnor's in here?
Silas.
We're
Ralnor
all
is not here.
Do we have
Neither is Squawk if
shared
Squawk
mascara
exists.
tears down our
Squawk
faces?
Yeah, but mine's just dirt.
His dirt.
Oh, there's streaks.
I
Yeah.
have mascara down my face.
Oh,
Heading
Elves,
towards head at this
like,
point.
was it Cat's Eye? Cat Eye? What's the makeup thing?
Oh,
is on
yeah.
point normally. Ruined. Oh.
Destroyed.
Oh, they're
It's
drunk.
not
I've seen the
waterproof.
drunk cry before,
Silas.
though.
I'm sorry.
I know.
up.
Don't
Shut
be
up.
sorry.
Shut
you,
up.
you got arrested. You gave me
No.
the hand sign that said it was okay.
You don't know?
About no, what? You're arrested. Why'd you get arrested? Come on. It's okay, buddy. It's
No,
okay. It's okay.
not the arrest. I don't care about being arrested.
Your uncle
Fuck
would be
the
proud of you.
guards.
Hey.
No. Shh. We lost Gwinwin.
Yeah, she's short. You lose her all the time in a crowd.
No.
No, Silas.
She's gone.
Wait. Shut up.
She's gone.
Hmm?
She's gone.
How thick was the door?
Made of metal, possibly gilded. It looks like it's either made of gold or it's gilded. A couple inches thick. Did you start hitting the door?
I'm not gonna spend a bicycle on this. No. Unarmed strike. So just that strike modifier. 11.
You take 1 point of force damage as you strike against the door itself. You watch as the blue rippling effect pushes outwards and then rapidly consolidates back in, striking back against your hand and kind of knocking back. It hurts. It's not. Doesn't feel like it was lethal anyway. Like it wouldn't have. It could. You wouldn't have died if it had overkilled you. But it's this very minor abjurative effect.
Just say it again. Just say it again. Just say it again.
Women's gone. We went after Bugarda, and there was an assassin who.
Why? Why did you?
Thorn and I jumped into a vat of acid
I don't care
to try.
what you did to save her. Why did you go in the first place?
Because we all thought that we could. We overestimated ourselves.
Yeah, but you're not the one that's paying that price.
Was that or a siege at home?
Yeah,
Wait, the home?
we kind of.
Do you want a shot?
You didn't see the hole in the wall?
You haven't been since then.
Okay.
Are you killing Thorn?
Thorn, you take 2 failed death saves. Oh no.
Thorn, do you want to come sit over here behind his meanie where he's
Thorn
safe?
licks your palm.
I'll lick it back.
So,
Oh, you have a big tongue. Sorry, I know it's not the moment, but you have a big tongue, man. Like his fingers are already just like too big. Like they're real big around. Like his,
Yeah,
his thumb is gross.
He's trying to just cover my mouth, but it's just on my face.
Dude, his thumb is absolutely your wrist. All right.
Anyway, reel it back in.
How do we get her home? How do we get her home? How do we get out of here? How do we get out of here?
well, considering that one of the charges levied against us is going to be murdering 20 Eltzian guards, I don't know how easy it's going to be.
fucking damn god.
So, anyways,
Would you guys like to explain to Silas what
Yes,
happened?
please.
I think we explain soberly and drunkenly to Silas what happened.
Silas, let me get the gist of it
Can
here.
you let Thorn
You
go?
can-
I'm worried
Any
about
specific?
him.
You want me to do the overview? You do the
Go ahead,
specifics.
do the overview.
Silas, over the last day, your party has been attacked. It was attacked at home twice, each time successively more powerful. On the second attack, the party was attacked by over 36 soldiers, armed to the teeth, led by a knight of Eltz. In the end, the party gathered what resources they could, getting all of the Defiant Smiles to defend their home, and went after Mr. Bugarda, whose threats had already threatened all of the West End.
The daring duelist was also attacked, and people died there as well.
Can I try and recall something?
Please.
I grew up following the Nine. I would hope that I know their teachings well enough.
Okay.
What are the thoughts on resurrection?
So it'll vary. Do you want to know about the worship of the Nine or the worship of Moradin, is my question.
Not Morden, the Nine.
So, the worship of the Nine, go ahead. This is a background skill roll. Roll with this with advantage. Now, this is a religion check. And here's the thing. Worship of the Nine is generally, almost universally, and certainly universally for divine casters, is done by you focus on a member of the Nine, and the worship, your opinion of all of the rest are formed by that. What is your total?
9.
Dude, you can't even tell that. Like,
No, this is the second
That's
time
amazing.
in campaign that I have rolled the exact same thing with advantage.
So, hey man, it's not that uncommon when you have advantage.
I guess that's fair.
It's like 5% of the time.
Yeah, she gets advantage all the time with 3 dice.
So here's the thing. Which member of the Nine do you primarily worship? And I can give you the overview again if you need that.
High Judge, or I'm sorry if I'm mistaking that name with the High Judge you mentioned earlier.
Okay. So for the High Judge, Tyr, as he's often known, the typical opinion of resurrection, it isn't negative, but it also isn't an expectation. I want to make one thing very clear. Resurrection is incredibly rare, incredibly expensive, and incredibly difficult. The people who do that are few and far between. Typically, when the High Judge refers to resurrection, it's actually more common for worshippers to revive like a pious man who has failed and needs to face his judgment, or a person who, like, in very rare cases, there are even attempts to resurrect someone who is a bad person who needs to face judgment. Because the villainous will always take the opportunity, because they could definitely get free. It isn't frowned upon to resurrect folks, but it's hard.
I wouldn't think of it outside of a hero in a storybook of Silas.
Right, and it's rare in a storybook. Resurrection is rarer than dragons are, just for the frame of reference of, it's a reminder in our setting.
We've only seen 2 of those, collectively 3.
You've collectively seen a few more. There's always Uncle LaHolt.
Some of us grew up around powerful magic.
It isn't, so what I'm trying to say yes. I'm not trying to say no. It's not super common,
No, you give me information, that's what I needed.
but like you don't know much more than it's pretty rare. It's not evil, but it's certainly not like an average thing to happen.
I'm not sure what you can do in this situation, but can you help me get her home?
Here's the thing. Everybody in this room, they're drunk now, so this is fantastic.
We want you both are doing great RP. We'll want to
Can
get you either to
you-
talk louder or a little closer
Ev-
mic.
Can you let me go?
You're kind of squeezing, man.
Yeah, I'm getting thirsty. I need to re-up.
Yeah.
Can I throw him? No. Fine, I'm just gonna let you go.
There's some water.
I could
let's
just-
drink some water.
Let's
in the
walk into your
background.
room.
You were not. No,
Hydrate.
I'm doing this in front of them. You were not there. Alilier is practically my ward, and Thorn is a simpleton. I am taking the fall for this, and you all will be free. I was the one who made the judgment call to cast Fireball and kill 20
What?
people.
Hey, you're also a diplomat that represents your country.
That's the easiest, best reason why I should take the fall.
Do not make your family situation worse. Don't.
My
try
family
to-
will be fine. What's the youngest daughter?
I feel like you have more worth than that, but I do not know your customs.
Wait.
We should leave the city.
You can't take the fall.
Yes, I can.
We'll explain what actually happened.
That
We're
is-
in the right.
The
We didn't do anything.
Oh, we killed
explan-
20 soldiers.
And we have
That's not
diplomatic
right.
immunity. To
The
a certain
explanation
extent,
of
and
what
no one needs to take a fall.
the
Elle,
explanation
why
of
do you
what
have
happened.
diplomatic immunity? Why do you have that?
You don't have diplomatic immunity. You've been making that up the entire time.
It's fine, but they'll take care of it. Is the thing. No one needs to go down for this.
Who will take
no
care
one's
of
going
it?
to be thrown in jail.
Listen, explaining the truth still leads to questions.
Which is, we were attacked. We've
Who
been
made
attacked before?
who made every judgment call when we had a decision to make?
I'll take the rap.
No,
I feel guilty.
we all feel
We
guilty.
all feel guilty. Gwynwin died today.
No, Thor's actually trying to do something.
I'll
nice here.
stay.
I know that's a problem.
No,
Whoa,
you're a
whoa,
citizen
whoa,
of
whoa.
Eltz, the easiest one to
Once
punish.
more.
I'm a citizen of Dunsmith.
This rippling energy pushes
Please
outwards. The door opens. You see several faces. The first in the center looks to all of you. Oh, hey guys.
They got you too.
You see the rest of the Defiant Smiles.
I run up and hug every one of them.
I was gonna get arrested.
Crying in a corner.
I could have at least gotten another
Oh,
You're gonna kill us, me.
this is much better. They had us, we was in a dungeon before. This is much more pleasant.
Why was he in
You
the
said
dungeon?
Oh,
Because they helped
oh,
us.
you reek.
You
They
want
helped, us
one?
def-
Oh, alright.
they helped us defend our home in the siege that happened.
You were all friends in the
Oh,
House of Summer,
second
and nothing
Silly.
bad happened.
It was horrible. I'm so glad you're alright. There was an army outside.
Did you fight bravely?
I'm getting very good at hitting people in the kneecap.
He's being modest. He killed so many people.
Oh, I did not.
Ears.
What?
Ears.
Whose ears?
Thank you.
You see, Adon is here as well.
Is Brask here?
Brask is also present. Everyone who is present at the siege from the Smiles.
I will
here,
want to have
the
a
entire
conversation
guild.
with Brask.
Can we step aside for a second? Before
You and
the-
me? Okay.
Weeping in the
Rickard
corner.
Thorn is also here.
Damn.
You don't see Kieran Shadal.
Because he's still on my fucking baseboard.
We don't see Jam,
Can you do me a
we?
favor?
We don't see Jam, huh?
No, you don't.
For everyone that came in, can you make them the strongest drink you can think of?
Oh.
Drinks all around.
Oh no, last time it happened, I lost a couple of days.
There's like three
That's a
different
good thing
liquors.
at
I'll
this
just
time.
pour them all in the same glass and shake it, right?
Yeah, it's like an island iced tea or something.
My cousin made that for me once.
Yeah.
Tincto
They
Bay iced
called
tea.
it,
Where's Gwynny?
hangover.
I call it a lich.
That's
Adon
better.
like catches your eyes first here. Confusion. This man schlumps and that smile is gone. Some of the new recruits complaining a bit, but seem like this will get smoothed over. Milton. Milton, eventually, you said you wanted to take him aside to one of the
Silas
rooms.
wanted to talk to me first.
Okay, please, Silas, it's Mine. You guys can step aside one of the side rooms. You can see the rooms themselves have been outfitted with, they have lavish beds in them.
I don't want this to turn into a pissing contest for taking the blame. I wasn't there, but at the end of the day, there's a level of responsibility we can all take. I don't think it should fall on your shoulders alone.
Can I just explain myself with as much love towards everybody as I can?
Yes.
Thorin is the simpleton, and Olivier is my ward.
The only other person I care
Another drown?
the only other person I cared about isn't really here anymore. I have a lot less to lose than those two.
You weren't there.
No, but I could have stopped you. There's a far greater list of things I could have done at this point, looking back.
Every one of us thought that it was okay until it wasn't. It was going well until it wasn't. We all thought we had it under control.
And I was one of the people that could have said no. And I didn't.
You were not there.
I could have said something.
Gwynwin
We
was-
went the day before to fight a bunch of mobsters. Why didn't I stop you then? We went the week before to fight a dragon. Why didn't I stop you then?
Gwynwin was also an adult.
Gwynwin is also dead.
By the end of this, we all will be, at the rate we're going.
I just don't think you need to share that blame by yourself. Let's let them get out, and I think we can figure something out as adults. Let's do what we can to protect those two is what I'm asking. I don't want you to go in alone. I also don't want you to go down alone.
You and me then, buddy.
Thorn just is like pouring his heart out. He's just like, everyone that dies around me. I don't understand.
I'm trying to
What,
tell you.
what did
about-
I do?
We should go to
Miss
the
Callister?
summer cottage. It's so nice. No one dies there.
Hold for a moment. Don't have. Takes a few steps towards the liquor cabinet. Looks at the little, the nice little handles in the front of it. And begins bending the handles into each other. Just these, they're small. You could absolutely break the door, but just kind of bends and breaks the little latch there. Sober up. And is going to head over to his meanie.
All right.
His meanie, once again, you got this this like lavish area. You said you wanted to speak with Milton. I'm going to be honest. You need to tell me what happened. I need to know everything.
Last night, we had gone out to try to find, because there were arsons, there were fires being set by some of Bugarda's men. So we go out. We already told you this before, but we
The
go
weeds.
out, we fight, and some people dressed up as Eltz soldiers come and attack us while we're there, but they were not. Then in the morning, we were attacked by an assassin and a large group of just like people, also pretend Eltz soldiers. So when they came again, we thought that they were pretend as usual, as the other fights we had pattern recognition is a failure of mankind, and so we thought that it was just another group of fake soldiers coming after us. They were real soldiers. We leave, we go to a secondary location and then go into the castle, storm it. Gwinwin dies against the assassin that had attacked us earlier that morning. We are able to bring Bugarda down, not dead, and are arrested for our crimes. Here's what I have to say to you. Number one, I can imagine if at the end of all of this, our employment with you ends as well.
No. Thank you for being honest. I'm so sorry about Gwynny. I'm sure you and your friends all have your own ways of mourning. I can't help but notice that a bit of parchment. Do you mind if I use this room? I have to do a bit of writing.
Okay.
If you'll excuse me for a bit. I was perhaps a bit brash in disabling the liquor cabinet. I just thought it was an inappropriate time. I will, of course, look out for the smiles. And Brask beams at you as he beckons for you to leave him the space.
Okay.
The rest of the night...
The other two people that could report got drunk.
Rest of the night... You hear that more people are coming. You've got your uncle here. You've got the whole of the guild. And you have Yosef. Not technically a guild member, which is very funny.
Can I have kept watch all night long?
You can. Make a con save. See, exhaustion.
Nice.
Gone. 25.
Fine.
Ugh.
I have a question I want to ask when I am sober.
Sure.
Whenever I get a chance, I would like to ask, like, Adon, Yosef, whoever stayed behind, what happened to Jam?
Oh, she went off with that knight.
It's not appropriate.
The guy who arrested us? He tried to be really polite. He seemed like he didn't want to arrest us, but he had to.
Silas was right.
Huh?
I told you so.
Silas, you were right.
I just assumed they kept her in another cell.
What's the name of the princess of Eltz? What's her actual name? You live here.
God dang it, Don. Why you gotta roll so... Don rolls well.
Don is
Yeah.
here.
He
Don
rolls
is the main character.
pretty well.
Adon, tell me.
Is our
We are
protagonist.
sub characters in this one.
Princess Mudrust?
What was her first name?
He goes and he actually pulls back and pulls a small coin pouch out from underneath his shirt that he's been able to keep. He doesn't have his armor, but he doesn't
Yeah.
most of the equipment. And pulls out a coin and shows There's just a small, this silver piece with, you can see it's just like, it's bare, like it's not a rendition, like a modern pressed coin. But there's two faces, like kind of split, two faces, both portrait profile, facing away, a young man and a young woman. Princess Josephine?
Yeah. It's not a bad likeness, don't you think?
I don't know who I'm making this Minter's tools check for. That is a natty 11 and presumably he's proficient.
God damn.
Hell, what are the chances?
You know, his meaning said diplomatic immunity doesn't exist.
I don't know anything about that. But hey, Brask says he's on it.
Yeah, but I've been acting this way for this entire time because I thought I had diplomatic immunity. And I got my friend killed.
I'm gonna go try to break open the liquor cabinet, actually.
That's why I was drunk yesterday.
Taking the evening to go experience the benefits of a long rest, exhaustion point for Ililier and Thorn.
I sleep at the table with my head on the table like a student.
Oh, you don't go to one of the 10 rooms?
Under no circumstances am I using one of
Fell
those.
asleep on the kitchen
Can't-
table.
Amazing.
Can I try to slide something underneath his meanie at least?
Make a sleight of hand check versus her passive perception -5.
That's 5.
Yeah, there you got it.
It's a 9. It's a 5 on the die.
What is that? Does that beat your -5?
No.
One of these very thin.
Finishing
It's
this
not quite a pillow, but she actually went into one of the rooms and got one of these very thin cushions that go on like a wooden table.
No.
Oh,
Never mind. Continue.
like one of those
Right.
thin cushions that would go on a wooden chair to make it a little bit more comfortable, and is trying to ever so delicately. She's like moved your hair out of your face to help you breathe a little bit, and is trying to just gently move your elbows to get this pillow under you, and then makes eye contact with you.
No, I.
Oh, you fake it? Oh.
I was gonna give you the Arendelle shawl, but I actually put it around Gwynwin's dead body.
Yeah.
You didn't fake it when he stole a book.
Different.
Different.
Very
He was
different.
stealing Mr. Book.
You don't have Mr. Book, by the way.
Oh no! On that note, they're gonna investigate the shit out of our warehouse. They're gonna confiscate Mr. Book. It's gonna get
false
published.
Hydra comes?
I have Mr. Book already. It was in your backpack.
I know,
'Cause you
but what
carried
if a
it.
false Hydra comes?
The paranoias of the world.
Thorn's asleep on
Mr.
the kitchen
Book, wait,
table
is this-
with a bottle of whiskey
Yeah.
that he's cuddling.
Is this a
Wait.
trauma?
Quick character reveal. Mr. Book has a description of every person and what Elle remembers most about them, just in case she forgets them because of a false Hydra, so we can still resurrect them.
That is a deep cut.
Yeah.
That's
Oh.
very fun.
It's been canon for a
So-
while.
Fun?
No, it's good role play. That's all I mean by it. But you know.
I mean, it makes sense.
Trauma. Generationally.
The following morning, after finding that the once more the dining hall has been stocked with food, despite no servants or attendants coming by, another blue pulse as someone enters the hall. But we're gonna take a break because last time I ran on a little bit too long. I want to take that earlier rather than later here.
Fair enough.
We're gonna be going away just for a couple of minutes here. Gonna go top off our drinks. Maybe more and Gwynwin a little bit extra while we're gone. And when we come back, maybe we'll meet someone new. Stay
Don't
right
leave.
there. Don't leave. It's Pride. You can't leave. You're trapped here. Welcome back. While you were gone, we had a nice toast to our fallen Gwynwin. Amanda, before we continue the session, I do want to just go ahead and say here, in front of the players, in front of our audience, thank you for Gwynwin. A very
It was
interesting
fun to play.
character. If we see her again in the future, great. But even if we don't, it was a delight having her at the table. But you're here within this. The rest of you are here within this castle, Castle Mudrust. What are you doing with those bicycles?
I'm gonna use them tonight.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'm
what?
terrified.
The door begins to open. It's early in the morning. Usually it's probably about 9 a.m., I would say. Some of you have been up for a little bit. You guys are able to look out the windows and know that you're about 2 stories off the ground in the location that you've been holed up in here. You were able to brought into the castle, but as you're kind of looking down,
So we can survive the fall. Is what
Yeah, is what I asked. Wait,
Yeah.
can I ask?
We're
Can I
not
ask for
escaping.
rolls?
what's up?
Who has the worst headache between the two of us?
Oh, that's a fun. No. The whole careful about asking questions for rolls, that's different.
I believe before
I
the
just
break,
like-
I said I slept on the kitchen table,
Yeah.
cuddling a bottle of whiskey.
I'd also
I'm
like
also
to
gonna use
mention
my
I think
pride dice for this
mine-
one.
pride dice.
Oh, if you want to roll it off to see who has the worst thing.
Use the
I've
lesbian
only
gay
given
dice.
disadvantage with these.
I don't have it.
These moments.
Do you just want to roll straight d20? No.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna roll
L versus
for Yosef.
Oh, okay.
We're it's a con save.
Con save? All right.
Oh my gosh.
Is it?
All right.
Yes.
Oh, who wants breakfast?
Damn, dude, really?
Gay dice have betrayed me.
I got it. I got it.
That is 17.
I got 19. I'm peppy as fuck.
12.
12.
That's a 4 on the die.
For a brief moment, you just hear in your ear, and
Baby,
you realize,
ow.
oh, it's not a magic item. It's just you have tinnitus.
Maybe I'm the warlock now.
From Thorn bawling on your shoulder.
My
Oh,
shoulder's kind of sore.
that's a good point. Before we continue, before you even notice, did anyone have any particular dreams they wanted to tell about? Any feelings they wanted? Anyone want to share their feelings?
Not
It's
a dream
safe
thing,
place.
but I will share my oil that I used to remove my makeup every morning with Thorn, who has dirt streaks across his face.
Elle,
He just
you
looked like
don't
he used a
have
cleanser.
it.
Wait, what?
What do you mean?
You don't
It's
have
just
your
oil.
object. I know.
You don't have your
Can I
bag.
prestidigitate it?
I can't.
You can't cast prestidigitation. What are the components for it?
I don't
Is it
know.
just verbal? Because you can only cast verbal cantrips.
No, it's verbal and somatic.
Eating the.
Oh, you have somatic. Somatic should move your arm. Okay, you can still prestidigitate.
Here's a tiny vat. It's coconut oil.
Also,
Clean
you
your
can just
face.
prestidigitate your face, but that works too.
Eating the breakfast that Yosef made, Thorn's like, "What's on my face?" And then wipes, and it's just like a ketchup
There is
stain.
fully ketchup. There's a little bit of just like the sauce from like baked beans on your chin.
I'm gonna grab it. I'm just gonna smack it on Thorn's face.
Gwynwin would have laughed at this.
Coconut oil time. It's time to start moisturizing.
Door opens,
I drink alcohol.
and you just hear stepping across the carpet. Step, step, step. A human woman comes and makes her way to the entrance of one of these open archways leading into this dining area that you and the rest of the guild sit. She wears a gown, a wide bottomed gown. No. She has this sort of velvety purple top here that comes up to a high neckline with a small set of like ruffles of white fabric puffing up. The shoulders themselves are pulled a little bit higher than you're used to seeing on a fine sort of dress, but have just these small, almost ribbon-like textures of red and gold. And then finally, the velvet itself eventually forms a gradient down into a black skirt that goes down to her ankles, sort of like this darkened, this dark, like, what's the, like a dark caramel skin, like bright purple eyes. You see Jam standing in quality finery. Her hands are crossed in front of her. You heard minor protests from the door as she entered, but the door closed behind her. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, have we met? Thorn doesn't recognize her.
Princess? You don't recognize her?
When did we meet a princess?
Thorn. It's okay.
I'll keep eating my breakfast.
Would you like a seat?
No, I actually was coming to see if any of you would come with me. I am Princess Josephine Augusta Marie Mudrust. I'm sorry for my deceptions.
Everybody's got to protect themselves somehow. No hard feelings.
I am doing all that I can, but what I have set into motion will take some time. In the meantime, I thought perhaps you would like to come and see her. I have ensured that she was treated respectfully, and she is currently in the crypt below our castle. She's being held safely. You will have to be under guard, and I can only bring you in small numbers at a time. But of course, it is beyond the least I can do. Silas. Silas, would you like to come see her?
Can I go as well? Is that okay?
I don't think I have a right to see her just yet.
Silas, go.
You see that you watch as the princess, kind of, her shoulders kind of like tense up. She's just not sure what to do here.
We'll go together. How about that?
Silas, go.
Go.
Is it wrong to want my last goodbye to be the letter I left her?
Can I say yes?
I usually don't listen to you, but you talk anyways.
I grab Silas by the ear and start dragging him along.
Rude.
I'm gonna pause you, Connor. Jake, if you don't want Silas to go, that is entirely your decision here.
I can recognize my friends telling me I would regret it.
Sure, but I want to know what you're doing. It's your decision. Take their words and his attempt here, but you are physically stronger than the party. You can't be forced here.
No, I don't have anything to say or really think about right now, Silas, so I'm not gonna worry. I'm not gonna argue.
Very well. And on this first trip down, you are escorted by Josephine. She brings you back to the door, which as she's stepping towards it, there is a small wave with her fingers, and the door begins to open up. Its magic's temporarily dispelled. Closing behind you, you see these soldiers here. A bit of fury on their face. It looks like a little more intense than what you saw yesterday. Different faces, but these people just looking at you, looking to the princess. Confusion and anger in their eyes at what's happening. But you were brought past this section here, and eventually brought to a staircase leading lower and lower, passing through the castle. Again, this opulence, this wealth, and the security of it, even. The pillars that are contained within each hallway, allowing for the soldiers' defense here. It is, again, a castle, a place of fortification and defense. You're eventually brought down to a small staircase, it itself being somewhat obscured from the hallway that you arrive at. Hard to see from the arches of the wall. But as you descend, Josephine kind of indicates there's a small lamp nearby. Do you want her to carry it, or would you like to take it, Silas?
I'll take it.
Taking the oil lamp, you descend into this relatively small crypt below. It looks to be an elongated tunnel, and here in the tunnel you see that on the left and right sides are these nooks, about 20 feet deep by about 15 to 20 feet in width, each of them bearing very similar, though carved by different hands, sort of ornamentation. You can see there are in each of them this beautiful ornamentation of the various gods of Eltz, the 9 here. So in some of them, some figures are more accentuated, others are not. And in each of them, there is a human-appearing woman, sculpted of this dark brown stone, similar to the other edifices here in the room, that is leaning over the pedestal in the center of each of these cubbies. This human woman, very, very simple clothes, a sword on her hip, has her head bowed, and appears to be praying over what you can see is in some places these stone coffins. In others, there are urns that have been rested there, but in each of them, you see this woman just her head bent, bowed low, praying over the people here. Heading past, you see these names. You see some of them bearing titles here. You see a princess gone before her time, a king, who lived a long life. And further still, you were eventually brought to a pedestal with no name, but a small form covered in a pale red silk sheet. See, Josephine doesn't step close to the cubby itself. She stays about 10 feet back. I'm so sorry.
I will never know what all you've done for me and my friends, but I can at least recognize this. Don't be sorry. You've done more than anyone could ask.
I will do what I can to ensure you are out of this place. The charges are unfair, as is what happened to her.
It's for all of us.
Tissues have been
sorry.
brought.
I brought tissues.
Oh yeah, I'm ready for this, you bitches. Let's go.
I came prepared too.
For me? Is
Oh
this?
my
Is
God.
Get fucked.
do I win? Do I get
Yes.
this?
No.
Oh, I tried. Oh well.
I'm so confused.
Fine.
If Amanda
If the dead
says
woman speaks.
The dead woman speaks. I'll take a bicycle.
Okay, it's fine. I'm gonna cry. I don't. I'm gonna fight them. I don't really care too much about the time we spend here. Before I make the next comment, I asked the other day if I remembered what the Nine thought about resurrection. What does Gwynny and her family, the Moradin,
Make a religion check. It's just a flat roll to see what Moradin believes in.
That is a 14.
14 total. So, you would say that the Church of Moradin has a very strong stance against undeath, which is not the same as resurrection. But, so like zombies, that sort of thing is very bad. But when it comes to resurrection, one of the most common reasons that someone is resurrected in a Temple of Moradin is because they left a piece unfinished and no clan with which to finish it. It is important to recognize that there is a cycle of life and death, sure, to the people of Moradin, but more important of whether or not someone is brought back is to ensure that their name and legacy is recorded in the great tomes, in the great halls, in the stone memory of the dwarves. I'm not telling you no with that role. You know it's not forbidden. It's not like you're discarded from the society. But it isn't... It's typically smiths that would be returned.
You killed me with this dwarf stuff.
Oh my god. She still had something she wanted to do before she started this hero nonsense. She still had dreams and things that she needed to do. I'm gonna fight someone.
No, we're crying.
I have to cry so bad that I'm sneezing.
If you can do me one last favor and preserve her, keep her here, keep her safe for as long as you can, I'll swear loyalty for the rest of my days. To you, to your name. It's my life for hers. I never had a dream like she
They have
did.
already summoned the High Judge, and until she renders her judgment, there isn't anything I can do. It took a lot to convince my brother to help me have this happen.
You have already done more than I could ever ask. Saying no at this moment, you've already blessed me. What more can I ask for? Don't let me be selfish here.
You're not selfish.
My only regret is you didn't get to try her cooking.
Oh, with this, you watch as she pulls, and you've seen these before. She just pulls this small kerchief, and you watch echoing ever so slightly in this stony place, this place filled with a history of her family. Just small muffled sobs as the princess cries over Gwynwin, taking this little kerchief and just covering her face as best she can. As she kind of turns and says to take your time, you can just hear her struggling.
Did you go alone or did I go with you?
You're with him.
Okay, I was just making sure.
I don't need much more time. Unfortunately, now more than ever, there's things to do, things to plan. Thorn, on the other hand, no, we'll let him do his thing.
I'll take a moment. I'll walk up and I'll just lean in and whisper to Gwynwin, I won't let any more of them die. This is my task. I'll touch her hand and then go join Silas.
Don't break that promise.
I would like to, either because I'm a very kind GM or a very unkind GM, I'm going to kind of roll over something real quick. If we'd like to jump to when you two are allowed to go, would that be okay?
I have a question I want to ask Jam before she takes us. Despite, I assume, them coming back in tears.
Thorn's
Silas.
crying. I don't know about Silas.
Silas, are you keeping it as much stone as you can?
There really isn't anything there. It's processing.
Okay, that's absolutely fine, Jake. That's reasonable take here.
That's what we
You
call
just had
shock.
to die.
Very good. Oh,
It's not
I really
shock,
want to
it's
say that.
landing.
Like, seriously, excellent.
I'm having to.
They're brought back up. Josephine doesn't immediately come in, gives herself a minute to center, and then steps in. Her purple eyes kind of match only by the ever-growing edges of pink at the sides of her eyes. Alilia, Ismini, if you'd like to see her.
Is it Jam or Josephine? I'm not asking what you're called. I'm asking what you prefer.
You know, it was my brother's idea. He thought that Joe would have worked, but I thought that was a little too obvious.
Very March of you.
Very March?
Yeah. Joe March? My favorite literary character.
Canon.
Ella and Clella have some things in common.
Colt Ella.
You're not
You're killing me.
I'm- I don't think it's the time to worry too much about it, so I'll just say I'm me. And
Okay. Well, you?
a lot of people tell me what that means, so.
I don't really care what other people tell you, but will you take us to our dead friend?
With that, like, thinking she's offended you,
Yeah.
Of course.
I'm a little bit offended.
Of course. And with that, we're gonna kind of push on ahead. You guys still seeing this castle brought through. On your way to the castle itself, you do see a collection of armored individuals in one of the hallways before you descend lower to the lower floors here, dressed up, including Gerard in that brilliant Eltzian military. These are the Crown's Guard here. You watch as several of them, when Josephine enters the room, look towards her, and she just holds her palm outstretched. An order repeated, but silent. As you continue past, you eventually make your way back down to the crypt. You see the face of the praying woman. You see the sigils of the nine, some of which you can see, like, some of them have different gods that are really embellished. One of them has an entire, like, an outstretched arm holding a staff emblazoned with the holy symbol of Mistra. Others have what look to be these ever-burning little details of the Moon Maiden. These little ever-burning torches showing moonlight dimly, giving this constant light to these stone coffins. But eventually you're brought to this relatively unadorned one. Sigils of the Nine and the Praying Woman over the remains of Gwinwin Granfir.
I'm the less profound of us, so I assume I'll go first. They stripped everything off of me. All my items.
You don't have magic.
Do I have an Emikir?
They would not have freaked out about a flower. I think I'm absolutely fine with that.
When I see Gwynwin, I take her hand, I tuck an Emikir in. I say, you know, earlier these days we traded this off thinking it would give us good dreams. I'm not sure if it works in the afterlife. Celis yelled at me on top of that mountain and told me that what I was doing would get one of us killed, and I think he was right. And I'm really sorry. I'm really, really sorry, Gwynwin. And I hope you can forgive me. I don't know if I'll go to Celestia or wherever you are, but I hope one day you'll forgive me.
Clutching this flower in her palm, never crushing it, of course, just this squeezing her hand. It's so small.
The red matches your hair perfectly.
Meaning your ward, as you've called her a few times, standing there just kind of holding on to Gwynwin. You just see her palm, the rosiness of her skin faded since then. Do you have anything you'd like to say while you're here?
I just give Gwynwin a very deep bow. I'm sorry. That's it.
Few words, but a very clear meaning from a lady of the north.
Can't stop crying.
And also, to all of you, we can take a minute if you guys want a minute. It's absolutely allowed.
Can we take a shot?
This is absolute. Yes, Stories of D4 is a show, but this is our game, guys. If you'd like a minute, Victoria, if anyone would, you'll signal me in reps. It's absolutely okay.
Can we have a minute?
Yeah, we're gonna take a very quick break as the party proceeds back up, heading away from this place with Gwynwin, and goes to speak with one another, hold each other, and be with this found family. We'll be right back.
You think I could make it in Colorless Aura right there?
Taking a moment to grab a couple more
Dude.
tissues here. Our players we're gonna kind of jump ahead a little bit. It's ew, gross.
It's
was
not
unused.
used. It's not used.
Oh, okay.
If you
Are-
get it,
Damn it!
How
I'll pick it up.
dare you
I'll pick it up.
not.
Little known
I'm
fact
going to
about
PvP
me.
Thorn.
All right. Whoa. Everyone relax. Victoria first.
Little known fact about me. In our last campaign, there was an entire arc that I cried for every session.
That's true.
Fun.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
I cried.
We'll talk about that on
Wait,
footnotes.
hey, our PCs got together now.
That's true.
Why else
I
do
did
you think
cry.
you cried?
Gross.
Blossom
We
and
both
romance.
cried.
It's pride. You can't say that.
I can't see that.
No, gross.
Also,
just
in
because.
general. We know
Connor
Connor
is
doesn't
not
do
homophobic.
romance, even though he had a wife and a daughter in the last game.
And a
That
son.
happened off screen.
Hey,
Okay,
We
how
did a
does this have
pregnancy
children?
arc.
Doesn't count.
Some of us
With
had
that
friends.
nonsense,
I didn't hear.
we're gonna kind of come back here. We're gonna jump ahead. I'm gonna say it's about midday.
Okay.
Guards, you've seen guards come in once or twice to make sure that they brought in fresh clothes, but we're very sullen is the nicest word I could say about it.
Certainly.
They were very upset with you.
Yeah.
It definitely seems like they think that you've killed a bunch of Eltzian soldiers, and it's ridiculous that you're here. Guards bring in some extra clothes, some extra sheets are brought in, but very quickly you are led away. Whenever the guards reach the door, however, they stand readying a weapon just in case as they walk backwards through the door. There's no trust here, the military presence.
You think we're that dangerous?
I think it's funny they think we can knock them down.
I think 11 of my compatriots are dead.
My closest friend is dead too.
Make a persuasion check, though. You don't see his response.
Yeah.
I can't roll above a 4.
You only rolled 4.
I've literally only rolled 4. It's still 10.
Hey, man. It's okay. Sometimes you gotta roll those 4s.
No.
You rolled a 3.
I rolled a 3. I've only rolled 3s and 4s.
I feel like I need to
The
give you
whole day.
disadvantage all day just to make sure it stays under.
Chicken.
Amanda? First or second?
Second.
Perfect.
4th.
5th.
6.
How do you stop it? Give me all of your bicycles.
Yeah, kind of give me
Any,
your bicycles.
Matthew.
Shame.
I started it here.
No. You know what?
Roll a
Here's,
deception
here's
check.
9 bicycles. All right. Oh, my display of what the stream was doing was way off. It had us still and we'll be right back. I just went ahead and updated mine. No, you're good, Alex. My feedback was off. You're here for a while. Before the door. Is there anything you would like to do over the next couple of hours here before I bring anyone back?
I meditate.
You're meditating? Is Minnie? Would you? Can I join you? I'm having a hard time.
Okay. Yes.
No jokes, just and Adon tries to, however you're sitting. Are you kind of focus? Are you basically doing something similar to a trance? But
I sit in the elven trance pose.
okay.
Can I join them?
Absolutely.
I can trance.
You can.
I can't.
You can't trance, but you can just you know the ritables.
I can try
And I'm a
desperately. We all try desperately.
But as you all kind of rest here for a while, taking a load off, taking some time to relax and try to breathe, focus on the memories of better days. Silas, Thorn, do you have anything else before I continue?
Brass
You have a couple
said,
hours here.
Brass said there was writing utensils, paper.
Yes,
other-
Brass has been taking notes. But, he's been writing a bunch of things. He's been locked himself in one of the rooms.
I am going to start writing a letter that I'm not going to be able to send, but we'll have to kind of preemptively write a speech for what I tell Gwenny's mother.
Okay, absolutely. You begin working on that. It's quite some time before an unfamiliar sort of man enters. He comes through the golden door, although the door itself almost doesn't seem like it opens, but more like it ripples around him as he steps through. This human figure, long robes, the arms of which kind of descend so wide that it's hard to make out quite his like muscular structure here. Though his face appears to be human, you see that he's got a series of different colored tattoos and like these angled arcs on both sides of his face, and also thick black markings almost fully obscuring the skin on his neck. As this human man comes in, I believe it is time for you to be made aware of the procedures you'll be experiencing in your time in the silken wing of the castle. I'm sure none of you are particularly pleased to be under supervision, nor to be imprisoned here in an albeit polite manner. I am Magister Tolorum, and I am serving here at the behest of King William. The High Judge will require several days to gather statements, evidence, and, of course, the specifics of your charges. But once they have done so, you shall make an appearance. You will have your time to state your case, make questions, clarifications, and kind of looks around the room, not quite landing on any of the people here. Accommodations. I apologize again. This cannot be pleasant for you, but you must understand. You are accused of many a great crime in this city, and it is our duty to ensure the Yes. You are the noblesse from the north, are you not?
Yes. Are we afforded representatives?
There will be those who have come to speak for you, and should you require messages to be sent out on your behalf.
From our own house.
Should you wish for specific representation from the House of Summer, it may be made available to you, though I would encourage you to consider local representation, should you want those words to be more well heard.
I don't see why a member of the House of Summer would be less...
Nevertheless,
more poorly received than someone local.
the reports I have read have indicated that you and several of your companions bear a brilliant mind. Surely you can see the prejudices of even the purest of courts and how they can be swayed by their own internal biases. I am not here as your antagonist. I am here to give you the information you require so that, should you be innocent, you will find yourselves free of this imprisonment.
Thank you for your service, then.
It is my duty as the vizier of this kingdom to do what is
Nope.
right.
Can I make an insight?
No one likes that word!
Well, it's
I
also
watched
the voice.
Aladdin.
You
Yeah,
remind
we
me
all
of,
watched Aladdin.
We all have seen Aladdin.
Can I check to see, does this guy have, seems like he doesn't like us.
Seems like he's
Make
an
insight
internal
check.
prejudice.
Make an insight check. This is actually a very reasonable question here. That was almost a 19. I saw that.
No.
Would you like for me to also get a read on this guy?
Yeah, I'll allow.
Please.
Guys, you can throw dice at me for this. You want to throw dice?
Lady
13.
Callister, please help.
Has he been talking for more than a minute?
He has.
This is a weird ask.
Dude, tell me, Battle Master. What do you
Total
want to
class levels, if any.
know? He is. You know the number, or if it's more than you? I think it's.
Total, less than me or more than me? Oh, if it's less, equal, superior, or inferior.
I believe it's fighter levels for your feature. Can you double check?
It's total
Total
and
class levels?
fighter.
Oh,
Total
perfect.
Class and fighter.
He has less fighter levels than you. I'm thinking about his. Actually, one second. Let me pull up his spell list.
I'm just thinking Magister and
One sec.
like my Jorson.
He
brain
walks
is like,
funny through the
"Brr."
door.
Do we?
I should have.
I want House of Summer representatives.
I'm not speaking in front of him.
Fair.
I haven't spoken in front of anybody but Jam.
Fair.
I'm gonna give you more information than you asked
Hey,
for
Jojo.
because it's not perfect.
Her name is JoJo from now on.
This person, when judging their levels based purely on the level of spell with which they cast, is a higher level than you. Now, that does not mean that they're particularly proficient in fighting. That is a very important thing to mention.
Fair.
You could be for example, this person, big robes. He looks pretty wizard to you.
Yeah.
This person doesn't necessarily fight at all, but is technically, according to for the features purposes of that feature, he is higher in that way.
It's fair.
You would guess he has like 11 hit dice.
Beat him up.
The insight checks from the other players,
15.
15. When as he's kind of describing this, despite his strange sort of manner of speak, his accent that's not quite as familiar to you, he seems to be telling you, when it comes to the biases thing, he's not saying he has biases against against non-Eltsians. He's saying you're going to a court where you'll be judged by Eltsians. It would be pragmatic to consider having Eltsians represent you to some extent. You get more than one person to speak on your behalf if you request them. I have an incomplete list of the charges if you would like to know. Though I am told there shall be more by the time of the reading. There are at least 25 counts of personal injury to Eltsian military individuals. There is the personal injury and kidnapping of a knight, disgraced as he is, of Eltz. The counts of 11 counts of murder, as the slaying of several of our soldiers. Additionally, there is the matter of the martyr's lament. It appears that you had possession of a stolen artifact. There is a supplementary charge for the damage that its absence has done to the Temple of the Morning Lord. There is also the matter of the contraband. The consortium is quite upset by the possession of corporeal demons in the wizard's laboratory. your study. Of course, in this, he's referring to those creatures you fought back in the forest quite some time ago. You kept the bodies. The king has upheld the consortium's.
So, what did Thorn do wrong?
What did Silas do wrong?
Silas hasn't done anything wrong.
Finally,
three
there is the
innocent.
matter. You have been accused, though she doth protest, of kidnapping a member of the royal family, endangering the potentiality of the royal line and the sanctity of our city.
Seriously.
None of this is a judgment, though I admit I am sure that I seem quite adversarial to you.
Maybe it's a tone.
Your tongue does not come easily to me.
You're not judging me.
Thank you again for taking the time to tell us, even if it was your duty. It's something we can appreciate.
It is one of my many duties here in the castle, and I shall do it, as with any other, proudly.
It shows.
If you have further questions, I must admit there is no trivial way for you to interact with the members of this keep, though I shall ensure that at least once daily, myself or a similar attendant of the castle shall come to attend to those questions and qualms. Typically, this sort of process would take between 1 and 3 months, though the nature of the alleged crimes have resorted to some expediency. And as
That's always
such,
good.
the High Lord should be here for the judgment within a week. Perhaps 2, given the worst possible case.
Perhaps she'll disagree, but given everything, I would like to ensure before received by any judge, regardless of personal biases which seem counter to the justice system, that they're representatives of the House of Summer here.
I will do whatever it is I can that is appropriate to ensure that is going to
Which you
occur.
can for the sake of justice. Correct?
You mistake me somewhat. I am here to serve as the court wizard for the king, not as a puppet of the Church of the Nine. The respect those that many have for the High Judge, I'm not saying it is misplaced, but my interests lie elsewhere. The sanctity of the court system, well, that is not exactly my purview.
Biases everywhere then.
I assumed you had wished for honesty, but if you'd like to debate the morality of the justice system, I'm afraid I will not be of much help to you.
You've already shown us plenty of kindness. Don't mind her.
As I said, I shall do my best to ensure the House of Summer is informed and requisition the appropriate applications of the Circle of Conjuration. Do you have any other questions?
Nope. I'm gonna start drinking.
I would
Sandwich.
collect yourselves. You have others who wish to visit with you.
We're allowed our own personal biases, aren't we not?
Certainly, Lady Erindral.
I'm an asshole.
Victoria's so mad at you.
Yeah, that's
No, she can't say it.
Yes.
Victoria, I do the glasses off all the time. It's normally Jake's fault. Victoria almost never does it.
yeah.
That's when you know.
So cute.
I know. I love Victoria.
Thank you for your help.
He offers a very polite bow. As I said, should you have further questions, I ensure you keep them until the attendants have come to take them. That way, I can ensure they are accommodated appropriately.
Before you go,
Yes.
we had a companion, an animal with us.
Yes, you were referring to that strange creature. It is being held carefully in one of the menageries here. I can assure you it has received no form of harm, nor would it, unless the outcome of your case is ill-favorable.
If it is ill-favorable, I promise it was a kind, sweet animal, and just because a dog follows you is the dog at fault.
I shall pass this along to the High Judge. Perhaps, in the worst case, others would be interested in it. It is a most peculiar breed. Its stock is not one I know.
Rare form of dragon, I believe.
There's an eyebrow at that.
I don't know what he is.
Anything else before he leaves?
Oh, I want him to
We're
leave.
definitely not getting Relnor back now that they think he's a dragon.
I don't know what he is. What would you have called him?
A lizard. A lizard.
Aren't dragons lizards?
When he leaves, I'm like, if you're gonna
No.
kick my ass, I would rather you actually do it instead of just like be angry at me.
You have been adversarial with every single person. Guard, jam, every single that has
I was
walked
not
through this door.
adversarial.
Oh,
You were trying to
Ben.
pull a sword out that you don't
You
know
have-
what it is.
I didn't have a sword.
Anymore.
Adon, wow. Hell, I kind of thought you were gonna punch him. I didn't know why.
You have fought with every person that has walked through this door. Do you think
We're
that is-
in jail for murdering
that's your
people
hand?
that were gonna murder us.
Do this. Yeah, you got nail marks on your palm. You're clenching a little.
Do you think it will help your case any to sit here and fight with every person that walks through the door?
I think you're gonna throw yourself under the bus anyway.
Regardless.
I don't give a shit.
Same. High five.
What's wrong with you guys?
Over the next.
We can just
What do I
not
have?
get in trouble. You have an uncle and a shop and a
I've
life
taken
and
care
a
of my
family.
uncle.
I don't know what you think.
You are his uncle.
I've taken
And
care of my
you
uncle.
have a family
I've
back
been
home.
shutting up.
Gwinwin.
You don't say anything to the guards. They don't make you say. I don't know what you're talking about.
I have
right.
not
High
said
five.
Your
And a
uncle,
legacy.
did your father teach you that?
Yes, he did.
I have not
Hell
said Rickard, I have not said a single word to anybody.
No, no. This young lady's got a good head on her shoulder.
Whatever.
I was
You
kind.
have siblings,
I've been
no
respectful.
I said
legacy.
nothing about. I said nothing about you.
Have I
Just
not been
throw
respectful?
me under the bus for all I care.
I
Who
don't know how to do
cares?
this. I was never going to get arrested. Why am I here?
Last I recall, you turned yourself in.
No, this is the point in my notes
Yeah.
where people break into Silas's room and come to kidnap you. You're
You know
fine.
what? Fine. I've done everything wrong. I'm gonna just go sit in the corner and be silent.
Pouting. We've reached that phase.
Called out.
Yeah, our friend died, and I'm not used to that. Sorry for pouting.
Adon is going to secure you.
I'm getting aggressively.
He's going to
I hate
scratch his arm absent-mindedly as he just kind of spends just
This
spend
is
some
the
time
worst
here.
torture.
If you want, there's paper over here. I can just draw you something
next-
to color in.
The next few hours are relatively, I would say, eventful compared to your first day here, your first evening here. There's a couple of people who come by to visit. There is a member of the West End Guard who comes and talks about how they'll be there to vouch for you. That they remember what you did with Scobrin. He doesn't say Scobrin. They remember what you did with the issue with the big wolf. There are others who've come from. There are a few others who pass by here, most notably. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, Meanie, no! I don't know what they said about you, but it's absolutely not true. You see, your water genasi friend, Pluvia Nile, has come here for you. Oh my god, okay, Tommy told me everything that's going on. We're absolutely gonna, I can have Tommy come up here and speak for you. If you think it's what is for the best, I can absolutely have, he'll come down here, and he doesn't want to come because there's too many guards, and it's not safe in Shell, but honestly, he'll do any. Look, I mean, honey, look at me. He'll do whatever I ask.
You link.
That's my
What do you
next
say?
PC.
What's the plan? You're not
So-
going down for this. What's the plan?
What was the big guy's name again? You know, just in case. Sometimes things don't work out.
Tell her Thorn.
Wait, I'm not understanding what she's asking.
She's kind of going, what's Silas's name, by the way?
Oh.
Just in
I'm
case.
just gonna tell her Silas.
No, tell her Thorn.
Fuck, why'd you say that?
But she's like, I could bring Tommy down. Now, I know he's got some rougher past, but he's working on being a better person.
If Tommy doesn't want to come down, given the nature of everything we've been accused of,
Well, I'm going to be here for moral support, whether you like it or not.
that would be appreciated.
Now, if my arm candy isn't here, you know, not so great, but whatever.
I mean,
I can be your arm candy.
you really like Fluvia, don't
Dude,
you?
Pluvia has 18 charisma. Don't make me feel better. Pluvia's fine.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Thorn knows this.
She's this gorgeous, happy-go-lucky water genasi whose face, as she's excited, literal bubbles come up in her cheeks and just kind of, they don't pop in a, like there's little bubbles like the ocean, not like gross.
Yeah.
Oh, the assassin.
No.
I'm gonna punch a
Wait.
Dawn. A little bit.
Sorry.
Thank you for that. Pluvia,
Just like gently. Throw a punch.
I've never been in this position before, Pluvia.
Don't
I
lie
don't
down.
know what I'm doing.
I'm good. I'm alone
You're
in this
next.
place.
The only other person of note who came by all these people that you know was Sophia, who came here asked if you had relatively coldly. She's flanked by 2 more Volcar, these armored women. They actually have their spears in hand. The others with these magical folded wings made of thick metal that are actually pressed up against their back. But her, she has a magic tattoo that allows her to do so. Do you have any questions about the terms of containment? I'm told that the Vizier has visited you already. Is meaning you can be mad at me, but this won't change the process.
She's been a little shocked after Gwynny's death and hasn't spoken much. Please forgive her.
I'm looking at. Emphasis. I'm looking away from you. I'm looking
No,
at her.
yeah.
I'm just not talking to anybody.
Sure, no.
who's-
Fantastic. Your RP, it's tracking. I get
Yeah.
what you're doing.
Okay.
He did a great job explaining everything. Unfortunately, we understand what's ahead of us.
The current stake of the charges is approximately 2.5 million gold pieces, ignoring the potential jail time and other punishments.
So, high or low? We get out of this.
High Lord Siege Shaper, as long as I've been alive, has been a bastion for truth. She will find it. I pray she finds the truth that I'm hoping for. A Dawn does not get up. Anything else before she heads out, or are we fine?
Question for you: is the collar with L stuff, or
Yes.
is it on
Yeah, but
L
I
right
don't
now?
have
Right, you don't
Elevate.
actually physically have
Right.
it.
Yeah, I
There's
can't
stuff
give
you
it.
can't lock up.
Okay, I can't give it to her. I
No,
don't
but you can
have
talk to her about it.
Before she leaves,
Jared can talk about
will
it
we
with Jared.
get a chance to produce evidence?
Yes.
Great.
It'll be a fair trial.
If you have specifics, you can, of course, procure them. Generally speaking, you would be allowed access to all of your things a day before the reading, with the exception of any weapons, which would be held. They can be used as evidence if they were relevant.
Magic
Though-
items.
Under guard, yes.
Okay.
For demonstrative purposes.
It's broken.
It was used recently.
Have you ever seen a trial like this in your time here?
She kind of. The 2 people next to her are still wearing those kind of these horned crowns, horned helmets, kind of standing there, kind of looking to her. Clearly, she's in a position of command here, and she just says, "My job very rarely involves bringing people to the dungeons. I'm a soldier."
Regardless of the outcome, there's something among my things that was meant to be a gift. Is there any way I can make it get to its recipient?
What is it?
It's a boomerang.
Who are you trying to give the boomerang to?
I think if you tell a few people around the palace it was intended for a jam, it will get to the right hands.
You know that she knows who Jam is.
Yeah. I do.
I think we all knew who Jam was.
But if it doesn't end up there, I guess I can't do anything from here.
I'll look into it.
It's supposed to be a gift. Doesn't matter now.
And with that, she turns. There's no real motion as the door begins to ripple as the trio of these Volcar, these Valkyrial knights, turn and begin passing by. You see, as she turns, the door opening outwards. She begins stepping forward before getting out of the way of a woman who's begun entering the room itself.
Can I
You-
elbow a Dawn and say
No.
No.
Very
Okay.
rarely going to say hard no on this one.
Ooh.
You watch
Why
as
not?
Sophia turns and gives a polite bow. She turns over to this elven woman who is stepping in and she says, "Priestess." And she Sophia and the Volcar step out. And no.
No, I was just asking. Did you say they called her priestess?
Priestess, yeah.
Priestess. Okay.
As this elven woman steps inside, you see not the typical regalia of a low member of some sort of faith, but actually fine religious vestments beneath a brilliant pale blue metallic breastplate. Tall pauldrons protecting the side and back of her neck. A sheathed sword in a sort of viridian sage green sheath, contrasting the rest of her attire here with these blues and purples and whites and greens. Amanda, would you like to describe this person who's entering any further than what I've started?
Her hair is pristine.
Question.
She has 2 braids that go around, and everything is perfectly smooth, pinned back. She has her long elven ears are fully visible.
Pale gray eyes, almost silvered, not quite natural to them.
And the most startling is a bright blue tattoo on her face that just kind of swirls around on her cheek.
These series of wisps and curves and arcs, not quite random. There's certainly something to them, but it's not intuitive quite what these markings indicate. As you step into this hall,
Summer Sister, may the Moon Maiden guide you.
You knew a scream was coming.
Colin.
I knew you were gonna play an elf. I called it. I called it.
So happy.
You're a quarter elf. We don't want to hear it.
huh? Oh yeah, you go ahead. Go ahead and add. Why don't you, Alex, add in the artwork for this new character as you step on in.
Wait, I want to see.
Oh, it'll be there. It'll be on the rotation.
Okay, well, we're all gonna have to stay on the screen now.
Yeah, no, yeah, guys, you'll get to see. You'll get to see. Well, you'll get to see. It's
We have
fine.
to watch the.
That's what.
Do I know
I-
the name of this person?
You've never met this person before. This looking really quickly, it appears to be a wood elf woman, though with her eyes. Would you say it's obvious? Is that fair? Mm-hmm. With her eyes and your knowledge, this is an Aasimar. This person was known as a divine touched elf.
Fancy.
I don't think we've been acquainted prior.
Was this the same person we saw in the Undercroft where we saw Gwinwin last?
Okay, not the Undercroft. I know what you meant. That word has a normal meaning.
In the crypt.
In the no. So
difference?
that was a human woman who's praying, and the woman praying was a stone statue over each of the crypts.
Oh, I thought you described someone with a sword on their hip.
Yes,
praying.
that's actually a very good connection
Many
you've
people
made here.
Okay.
wear swords.
Right. So here's to add a little bit here. You see that she holds with her a white, almost bleach wood staff wrapped up with leather and this fine blue cloth. Again, these light priestly vestments of the Moon Maiden underneath this plate armor, still giving her a very, I would say, relatively regal touch here. No, the woman you saw made of stone, the sculpture from
Okay,
from
I was just
human.
I heard the statue part. I just
No, very
confused.
good.
I thought it
That's
was
a very
separate.
good connection there, and I hadn't considered that.
Cool.
I've heard many tales
Write
from the
that down,
Elder
pass it
about our Summer Sister and her companions.
That is
From Tyrilla.
that sound from Tyrilla.
The Elder likes to keep me up
Lucas
to date.
only tells lies. First of all. Second of all,
You've met Lucas, absolutely. You remember when he was
Lilier.
a little.
Hi, I'm Mycilia. You can just call me My.
My friends call me Elle.
Nice to meet you, Elle.
I'm sure you've heard of his meaning.
Yes,
She's
Summer
mad at
Sister
me.
Guardian.
Currently, so Silas, Thorn.
You Silas. Nice
I'm
to
learning
meet
how to write. How do you spell your name?
Go back to
M-A-I-S-I-L-I-A. Mycilia.
I couldn't even
Got
spell
it.
Gwenny. I'm not worried about this.
But
Pleasure to meet you.
taking a little bit time here to step
worshiper of the
in and
Moon
find a
Mother.
seat. You see this room that, despite being, this is a prison, is kind of filled with a warmth of it. As you see that some of these new recruits are sitting near each other, kind of just watching over to the side. What is this? Let me see. What is this? Tell me secrets.
I absolutely ignore the DM. Is that a Jake?
No, the handwriting is too good for my handwriting.
Here you go, Alex. You want to join in?
Let
the
me
fun?
see the handwriting.
The handwriting's too good for my. Y'all, do you see the 78?
Bring in a
I
lawyer.
I can prove this wrong right now.
Show us your notebook.
Oh, weird. You wrote in lowercase? I don't do that.
So You enter the room, find a nice seat, kind of allowing people to sort of naturally form this sort of semicircle as you're about to be interrogated. You know what happens.
Yeah.
This is like meta. You know what's gonna happen.
He also has the notes in front of him.
I assume, did Tavrilla send you? Did House of Summers? What's happening?
So I've actually been coming to find you all. The elders told me of your deeds in Tavrilla and in the forest.
Is it because of the purple flower thing?
No,
I'm
he did
only
tell me
slightly
about
deviating.
that, but
Are you gonna
You would
join us?
know that the purple flowers of the Fey grass there are near the old shrine to Coralon.
no, it's not about that. But I had a favor to ask all of you, and then I heard about, well, this.
It's a little past midday at this point.
Yeah, we're in a bit of a pickle, if you can tell.
Pretty
and a
well
half.
known in the West End.
Maybe 2 pickles.
We're nothing of
As a
infamous?
quick reminder, because Amanda, you're doing an excellent job here with this new character. The garden is in the East End.
I had come to y'all's warehouse, I think is the right word to call it, and I was told that you were here, so I figured I'd still come to talk with all of you.
Do you need our... You know what? I don't know what I'm talking.
I'm sorry.
Izmini's in charge.
We're in prison right now, actually.
Are we
We're not actually free to leave here.
Yosef,
Yeah, are we in a position to offer?
He's so smart.
completely unironically, you're my favorite person in the entire
I'm so
world
proud of
right
you.
now. Especially because
I'll be
he's
honest.
so mad at me.
Oh, I've been reading this book. I'm now my favorite person.
You've grown so much. I'm so proud of you.
You're the best.
Give him another raise. If we think about
Izmini's
it
in charge.
This is what I've been saying.
You are clearly a very talented wizard, and you know much about the weave, right?
I know a bit, yeah. Oh, I'm being demure.
Chloe, you're gonna die that you're leaving.
No, you are gonna
Bye.
die. Bye.
I'll mind link with Izmini and just be like, she's pandering to your ego. Be careful.
I love it.
No.
No, I said be
There's-
careful.
An issue in the gardens. There is an issue in the Moon Maiden's temple.
Okay, first off, what is the garden?
Quick, this is a reminder because this is something that is meaning you've heard talked about. You know that each of the High Lords looks over one of the temples to the 9. The Moon Maiden, or as you would call her, Lady Moonbow, is one of the members of the 9. Each of these temples are a little bit different, and the Garden of the Moon Maiden, or the Garden of the Moon Mother, is one of them.
Sorry if I misunderstood, but what is your relationship to the garden?
I am a priestess there. I am one of the clerics who serves the Moon Maiden.
Yeah.
You used the C word.
Yeah.
Take a personal Jake, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
We love
I appreciate you asking us, but I truly don't know what help we could offer you at this moment.
We can't right now, but we can later.
Yeah, what kind of timeline are you looking at? Because we might be going behind bars for a little while.
A while.
It's not an immediate reaction. There's no one going to die immediately, but
And you know
Done.
that the inciting person here, died about a week and a half ago. Well, maybe 2 weeks.
Wait,
What-
how'd they die?
Was there a painting?
What's the issue?
Clerics.
our
The
high
problem at the temple.
cleric
I know.
is having issues with divine magic.
We're getting into this.
Yeah, we are.
What?
His prayers are not being answered.
Can I ask something?
Okay, so
to
now's a bad
myself?
time to convert to worshiping Shar. Got it?
Yeah. Hey, can I ask something?
The DM's not here right now. Please leave a message after the.
I want to make a chat.
Wait, just your main cleric or all of you?
Well, he's our high cleric. My prayers are still going through. I still feel like I can commune with.
I got a good connection.
Don't worry. Tell
Of
us
course,
not a problem.
I don't have the kind of level of magic he has. I've never asked favors as he has.
Have you talked
but-
to the other Evelyn houses about this?
Have they tried praying outside?
You would
This
know
is
the
a wood
wood
elf.
elves
She's
don't
wood
work
elf.
that way.
She's not a.
I'm
She's not a
from
high elf.
Kayla. I
You're a
don't
wood elf.
talk. I've never communicated with any of the high elves before. You were the first summer elf I have spoken to in
I'm barely
a long
a
time.
summer elf. I'm so sorry.
Can you
Make a real quick nature check with advantage is Meanie and Ililie.
Is it above a 4?
I would say it's probably DC 15 for simple, 20 for-
25.
25?
15.
With your permission, do you mind if I tell her how old you are?
Yeah.
That woman's just shy of 200 years old.
Sexy.
You've never mount a hell.
No, in a long time she's staying.
I said
Okay.
it's been a long time,
You don't look a day over 100.
but
Compliment.
Blushing.
Can you tell us more about the weeks prior to his prayers stop going through? Was he worried? Was he sick, or was it just overnight?
it's been slow. It's been a slow decline.
Have you noticed anything strange with the sky at night?
I've been
Mist.
tracking the mists. They have grown so thick. Just decades ago, there was nothing, and when they started appearing, I started tracking them.
Is it a direct correlation?
At this point, you would notice on your you've got this fine like sling, not quite a backpack, but like a slinged pouch, and you can see that there is a pair of these different metallic tubes, one brass, one silver. It's kind of hanging out. You've seen these before. These are a looking glass. This is like a telescope, and the other is a spyglass.
You're armed?
She's got everything.
And
you have
they-
your
You were
full
allowed
everything.
to come in.
They let you in.
Yeah, I'm a priestess.
Not a
So
We're vigilant.
you may have some
Listeners.
pull, maybe?
Sway.
Maybe some sway.
I
Maybe you can
talk
help
with the courts
us.
about your deeds in Tavilla, and
Please
how you have
do.
saved,
I think we would.
how you have saved.
Really
I'm gonna
appreciate
grasp
that.
May's hand, and in her hand, I'm gonna go. If I have to be exiled, please send me to Tyrilla and not home. I'm telling you.
Was it? Oh, bicycle. That's good. That's, oh my god, you got it.
That's good.
I just want to hang out in the woods.
Our elder would love that.
I know we have a date.
If I get deported, don't send me back to Dunsmith, please.
It doesn't. Send Thorn with me. Actually, Ismini can do whatever she wants. She's a powerful woman.
We'll go fishing or something.
We'll go fishing.
You don't want to come to
I
Tyrilla
was
with me?
told
Sure.
you know
Oh, I
much.
love
You know have
So
much
loud.
knowledge about the weave, and you might also have connections that might be able to help start explaining why this is happening.
Yeah, because I'm concerned that something's choking out. This is a stretch, but this has been in my head for a little while. I'm concerned that something, some nefarious actor of some kind, is choking out our plane's connection to the Moon Mother, to Lady Moonbow.
Someone is trying to destroy the Elven Pantheon.
Well, we already know that. I mean,
No, but something is trying. First
Or at least-
Corlan,
yeah, or at least
next the Moon Mother.
cut off our
Who do we have
connection.
left?
Because if you think about what's a god that's not worshipped, if you can't access Lady Moonbow, how are you going to worship her?
Who hates
She could worship herself.
To Amanda, the outside drawing doesn't matter at all. That's just like an old session thing.
Okay.
Have you talked to
I just wanted to give you that information as a quick reminder.
Have you talked to any other churches about this? If it's been a slow decline, are you the only church that's experiencing it?
Others, I've reached out to some of the other
There's other Wood Elf cities, right?
The churches.
other temples in the city, and many are feeling the same decline.
I know I've said it
It is-
multiple times, but I've learned to, revere the moon from my father. So we need to settle this whole jail thing. Are we going to jail or are we not? And then we need to take care of this.
Correct.
The
This is-
moon and the Moon Mother is worth more than any of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing this to our attention, because it's been something I am terrified right now because I'm thinking back on a conversation that was had previously during the run of this campaign with a man named Zarathal. And,
Out of character, I said, "Oh fuck!" when he told me this on our Zoom call, I said, "Oh fuck!"
he was right. We knew he was right.
How honest are you being here during this initial sort of exposition?
Very honest. I was told I could explicitly trust them from my elder. He had full trust and full faith in our summer sister.
We
and
need your
so-
help to get out of this.
As
we
a-
will help you.
Quick clarification that I want to mention that during your time, you have seen this behavior in several of the from several of the clerics you've met from other temples here of the 9, as well as from shrines of places you have visited both in the borderlands of Eltz and in the Vorax Empire.
Clarification of the 9, not of specifically elves, but of the 9.
Not of the Elven Pantheon.
The
of
one
the
most
nine.
recent you've heard of is that several of the ever-burning lights of the Morning Lord's temple have gone out.
That's terrifying.
Well, the ever-burning lights have gone out.
Yeah, no, they just forgot to replace the
To be
battery.
fair,
So, right,
I mean,
y'all
the
just
lights
got
that
charged
don't
for
go
that.
out. They've
you
gone
did
out.
get accused of it's your fault. That's the damage to the temple that they're blaming you for.
Ah, that's good to know, actually.
Good to know.
Oh, we're patsies. I get it.
Yeah, we're Fall Guys. There we go.
Oh, that's not good.
I mean, I'm thorn.
We should bring this to the highest authorities we know. The Elven Pantheon, not knowing the other stuff, is threatened. It's of the utmost importance that we correct it.
Can you tell me what all
I have some
temples you've
immense
talked
first,
to?
though.
Can you tell me what all temples you've talked to?
Want me to,
Yes.
I was gonna say
That's a hard
I know.
session. That is super hard.
Matt, give us a list.
Yeah, do you want a list of the temples here in the city
Has it
that
been
you've
the
been
They have
exposed
been
to?
affected.
It hasn't been the one for sure.
High Lord Percival Prospin of the Sanctum of Knowledge, which is Ogma. High Lord Stanley Branson at the Morning Hold, which is the Temple of the Morning Lord. Your own temple, which is run by High Lord Sautier, who watches over the Moon Maiden's garden. And High Lady Octarine, who studies the Lady of Mysteries in the Great Tower. That is Boris's aunt. And finally, you have heard that the bloodlust of the Temple of Battles has finally abated.
It's fucking terrifying.
Uh,
One of the
yeah,
number
that's
three.
so. That's the basically temple to a war god.
We're gone.
I was thinking it was that dead hand, or I can't remember it.
Tempest.
Tippets.
You don't have very much contact with the High Judge.
No.
Would you be interested in talking to other temples?
I've reached out to those that I would be accepted to step foot in.
I can't promise anything about stepping foot into a temple, but I might be able to connect you with a friend with a promised favor if you can bring me some fine charcoal. I'll give you a note to pass along.
I have the same problem with bars.
Oh my god.
Before we can do anything to help, we're in a dire situation.
Of course.
and
This is not something that has to be solved today. This is something
No,
that
no. This is the gods. It's really important.
it's not something that could be solved today.
And
I
it's
should clarify.
It's Eltz, it's the surrounding area, and it's all of Venser's domain that we know, or inside of Venser's domain.
Well,
We're-
she's
happening there.
traveled some over the last few decades and has seen this over the past
Great.
about
So you've seen
20
it-
to 30 years.
You've seen
is when she started
Issel,
noticing it.
and you've seen.
She's never been to
I've
Issel.
never
Never
been
Dizzle.
Have you left Gren?
No.
That was her call, so I don't know.
Nope.
Interesting. Okay.
Let your players make decisions like this, guys.
Localized to Vincers. Maybe we should. It's stupid.
As a quick reminder, because my players are just dropping these terms, Venser's domain is the domain of Emperor Venser, which is to the west.
He was-
The kingdom is known as the Vorax Empire. It's ruled by a mighty dragon, and they do worship the Nine there, though there's also quite a bit of worship of Tiamat, the Dragon Queen, or Mother of Dragons, though that name is very dangerous to say too many times at once. Khaleesi! No,
You can't say it for 15 seconds.
you can't say it for 15 seconds.
Oh, I thought we were summoning her.
No, I was just Game of Thrones thing.
There's a cooldown.
There's a cool.
Yes.
They're pulling like a Candyman thing.
This seems bad.
Yeah, I'd agree.
The situation we're in is also bad.
Yes.
Yes, but we'll
because
get
we're
out of
accused
here.
murder.
Yes.
We'll get out of
We
here.
need to solve the now,
Hey,
and then we can solve
hey.
the then.
Are we all getting out of here?
Probably.
I would like that plan.
Joseph, you'll be fine, I promise.
Oh, of course.
So I'm looking at the self-sacrificial people in the party.
No, we would never. We have been so kind and
Can't
loving.
sacrifice me. I can make pancakes.
Man.
Yeah, we can't sacrifice Yosef, so.
If you sacrifice yourself, I'll cry.
Look, who do we throw under the bus? It's got to be this new girl.
No one.
I guess they're on
We're
the bus.
innocent.
I was kidding, but once again,
If-
you see where we are.
Yes.
If you had advice or anything going into this, we aren't
Right.
all citizens of Eltz. We haven't been here a long term.
We can.
Is there something you recommend we do walking into the next few days?
As many friends as you can gather.
Most of our friends are in this room already.
A few of them have walked through the door, but it seems like we've turned them away a little.
Tayrilla will always support you.
I have Tayrilla to always support me.
Nice.
I made some good friends there.
It's always nice to have support. Everyone that supports me is here.
Yeah.
Support you. Oh.
Fine, I will say I'm sorry.
Damn right.
Hey, can you give me an audience with the princess?
I don't have that kind of...
You have never spoken to the princess.
I have spoken to my High Lord, and that's about it.
You guys are smart. You're smart.
Reason.
Oh no, the party got dumber.
Yes, our average is.
A lot
Now I'm
dumber.
in second high
But we
speed.
got wiser.
We did get wiser.
Did get wiser.
I'm more dexterous.
We got taller too.
Yeah.
How
Our
much?
average-
Like 5'4".
Hey, our average height went up.
Yeah.
Our average intelligence went down.
Roasted.
Are you saying short?
So unless there's something else specific, I get to ask you if there's any other preparations you're making over the next few days, including sending out messages with your companion here.
Yes, I'm willing to take any messages you all have.
Well, I
If she brought...
already did my shot by
I
doing
only
the
have.
gift I had planned 6 sessions ago.
I only have Pluvia.
If she was able to...
I couldn't.
I said
hear
I
before.
only have Pluvia, and we've already talked to
Ladrone?
Pluvia.
Question mark?
I don't think it's smart to bring another gangster in. I think we just need to.
Pluvia? She's
Ladrone?
gonna be a good key witness?
Ladrone.
Oh my god. She's not here, but oh my god. Thorn, of course I'd be a good
Oh
witness
my
for
God.
you. You're such a sweetie pie.
Okay.
You're
Would she
blushing.
Suddenly the illusory Pluvia disappears.
Oh my god. Would she
Can
have
you
been
bring
able to
more
bring the
members of
charcoal into this
Tayrilla?
room? Like,
I can
drawing
ask.
anything
They
charcoal?
don't really like Eltz very
I know,
much.
but perhaps people who can witness against our bravery against Scorbin as like a character witness type thing.
Scobrin, and
Scobrin.
also
It might be better to bring the, captain that y'all
Okay,
rescued.
yeah, but do
Rescue.
you know any captains? Can you go get that captain?
you've rescued the captain of both the East and West Ends.
I know. Do we have contact with him?
No, we don't.
Yes.
We're in the
There's a
prison.
person who can walk.
Yes.
Should we
that's what I'm
go-
saying.
You need to give me a
go
name,
get
'cause
us
I
people
don't.
Who saw us
Captain
do
of the
a
East
cool
and West
thing.
Wind.
The answer is
their
yes.
name.
Should we go grab Professor Tiklabon?
Oh yeah, no, the guy we
Yes,
saved. The
we
professor.
saved
we
his
go.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We could go grab Iris Perkins. Iris and I.
Can you
know.
just bring
Wait,
all
what
of
about Miss
the,
Bean?
the
What
wood
about Miss Bean?
elves
She saw
and
her
the
throw up.
goblin
We
from
can't get a hold
the
of
area that we helped out?
Bring a dog and
Hey.
be like,
Vouch
Hey.
for us.
yeah.
I have
Can we
this
get
random
Don
name.
Teal to send a letter? I'm going backwards through the campaign.
No. I've got this name, Zerathor. Can we get him to attest for us?
He's dead.
Captain
so.
Krennic was the captain.
Yes, he was.
I want to get
Wait,
my man
no.
my.
I have the name Folan the Primrose. I know that's impossible.
That was
Folan is in the Feywild.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
important though. She's important.
He.
Caleb?
Oh no.
Caleb vouch for us.
Frog, I forgot.
Guys, obviously this is the solution is to go find both Kryvar album
Yeah.
and
Caleb
Holdo.
the bartender.
Holdo from session 1.
Perfect.
What about the peace we brokered?
Balzac?
Anyone
Can we
we
get
wanna-
Balzac?
No.
He'll vouch for us.
I'm drunk.
What happened to her beard?
Your beard?
You just go like, beard.
What?
Whenever Elle would be like, I'm stroking my beard now. You're like, it's like an old man.
Oh, the strange, odd memories you have?
Yes.
They haven't been invoked in a while. You've been very
Yes.
focused.
They haven't been invoked since I've gone to Eltz. Since we walked through the West Gate, I haven't had one.
Did you have any whenever we were like on our
No.
dragon adventure? Okay.
No, I assume it's some sort of disease that was cured as soon
Oh.
as I walked into Eltz.
Contact the Red Rock Monastery. They could vouch for us.
Hey, got
Yeah.
Dr.
That
Don
was
Teal.
L, not
Oh, Dontiel, yeah. Duh. That's
Yeah.
his name.
I'm literally going backwards through the campaign looking for names of people that we've helped.
Shit.
the other
we
professor that Gwinwin worked with for
we ask,
working.
The Lucky Smith,
It's like,
Benjamin
Kinjin.
Blacksmith.
So as the party begins gathering all of their character witnesses,
his name was like Peanut Brittle or something.
the reading is not the
Intelligent?
trial itself.
Okay.
But you guys have about, in the end, 6 days from your imprisonment.
Got one fortune teller.
I can give you the reading if you'd like of the charges.
Please do.
Oh yeah, we need to know what we did.
There aren't any more than likely.
After about just under a week of sending this new companion to go and communicate, write letters, even at points go and commission a sending or two.
I can cast sending.
Oh, you can cast sending. No commissioning required. A sending or two.
Nice. Yeah.
Nice.
Passing along information where possible. It's difficult for you to perform this, and you had to find a person you've met. But sending these things along, doing what you can, gathering information. Eventually, we come to the reading.
Okay.
You see, this dwarven woman has been seated not upon this large throne which sits at the far end of this beautiful room you've been brought to, the throne room of Eltz,
Hi, Lord Barringer.
with no king present. You see two smaller seats sit off to the right side of the throne, to where the king's right hand would be. One sits Octavian Mudrust, and the other his sister Josephine. As the two of them watch the party, you can see this dwarven woman set up on a high pedestal behind this large table that kind of looks down, looming. She sits probably about 15 feet above the rest of the party. Her big, strong hands, big vein on one of them, looking down above you.
Can I give a polite bow?
Give a bow, and there's you can tell she's watching as you do so. This woman, tight like dark brown curls. Her skin, her skin itself, almost has this. Well, most of it's dark, and there's like a pattern of small splotches of like white along one side of her face as she kind of looks down. Her green eye is kind of standing out here, and she just looks down with a bit of judgment here. You see here, High Lord Maribel Seed Shaper, looking down, giving your polite bows. I've come here to begin the process of rendering the High Judge's order upon you. There's still research to be done, but I believe we've got here a comprehensive list of what you've been accused of. These charges are not necessarily you're not assumed to be guilty. We're going to find out the truth of the matter. Now I'm told, according to this writ here, there's been requested for guild accommodations for these charges, for both adjustments and the commutations. Is there a brask here? At this point, Milton kind of just raises up his hand. All right. Well, if we're going to do this, I am a successor and a primary speaker. This Milton takes a moment. He's been, like, his face kind of shadowed here and just kind of looks up. Lady Callister will be assigned as the speaker over the course of this case. I trust her to represent her friends well, and to allow them to speak when the High Judge finds it appropriate. As for the matter of my successor, should the need arise as accordance to the accommodations of my station, Don Castillo, he's been with the guild the longest, and you'll find that his record is impeccable. Very well.
What did you do, Brask?
When he said his record was impeccable, did he have anything on his face? We
No.
know Adon's history.
No?
It wasn't guild business. It was.
It was
You
before you
just-
joined the guild? And you don't think that Brask would find it immoral what happened with the Don?
It's fair.
Very well. I'm ready to read the charges levied against the bulk of the Defiant Smiles. You'll receive a detailed report of all of them and individual breakdowns, as some of these charges do not apply to each among your number, and others apply more specifically. For personal injury to the Eltzian military, I've got 28 counts. First 27 occurring just over a week ago at your abode. Another dated back over 4 months. A member of our military, one of the giants who guards our bridges, greased and tossed in such a way to has rendered his leg to be quite damaged. 2 counts of personal injury against low nobility, 1 Kieran Shadal and Sir Farafel.
I don't even know who
Farafel was the knight who attacked the warehouse.
That we got the writ from.
11 counts of murder against an Eltzian official, each upon the attack that occurred upon your home 1 week ago. The kidnapping, 1 count of low nobility, Sir Kieran Shadal, and another of royalty, threatening the line of Princess Josephine Augusta Marie Mudrust. May she one day reign. 1 count of improper imprisonment for 1 Kieran Shadal, former paladin of this city. 1 count to the Smiles of harboring a fugitive, Yosef Brims, as named in the trial of Orwin. 1 count of endangerment of the city. The specific delineations of its merit will be listed in the enumerated list you'll receive shortly after this reading. I have been asked, and the request was approved, to dismiss the charges of disorderly conduct, public intoxication, and all manner of impropriety made by any number of the Defiant Smiles. In addition, there is destruction of a military fortification in the northern walls of the western end. Possession of the Martyr's Lament, a stolen artifact taken from a High Lord. These charges have compounded and are enumerated as previously described. Irreparable damage to a Temple of the Nine. 2 of the ever-burning torches have been snuffed out due to the absence of the lament. And still we are unable to reignite them, even with the aid of our clerics. Theft of an artifact from a High Lord in the Statuette of Stillness, otherwise noted here as the Velvet Vulpine. And possession of contraband dictated as such by the Consortium. The Fundati have placed an embargo on the possession of corporeal demons, and several of them were located within the Defiant Smiles secondary abode, known hereafter as the Warehouse.
I literally didn't even know it was illegal to have demon bodies.
The party's not laughing here, I'm assuming, as this woman reads these charges.
No, I'm not laughing. I
I assume
Victoria didn't
throughout
know.
this trial we have no chance to speak, like, privately.
This is not the trial.
This is just the
Yeah, but the
reading.
reading of the charges.
This is reading what the charges are.
I think it's in our
The
best
trial
interest
is
to
next
not, It's in our best interest to not talk right now.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm not speaking.
Very well. Are any of these that you believe should be dismissed outright and are absolutely not worthy of discussion by this court?
I look to his meanie.
I also look to his mute.
No, you just gave a summary of our campaign, so I'm just kind of like sitting and like, you know what happened.
Total charges equate with the completion of all of this to just over 4.5 million gold pieces, and no less than 970 years in the 9 arches, divvied out in its specific portions in the detailed manifest.
I'll roll my new character.
I have
I was-
no idea
I was
how
saying I
long
needed
Loxodons
to.
live now. I don't think Silas knows. His parents died? How was he going to ask them?
I'm waiting.
Should I take your silence as any sort of assent to these charges?
No objections.
I've heard mixed tales of each and every one of you. She kind of looks around. At this point, there's no viewing audience here. People aren't here for the reading. There are some who claim you have worked to protect this city, and others that you are little more than meddlers who have come to disrespect the hierarchy that has so divinely been established within our city. That you have come to accost the good men and women who have protected our city and our temples. That there are northerners who have come to disrupt our society, perhaps so that it may collapse as Issel soon shall. However, I am not here to make assumptions. I am here to look into what we can know and make decisions from there. It looks here we have quite a few who have come forward to speak for you, on your behalf, and others who have come to speak against you. For each of those, you will be allowed permission to refute that which they say. Do you have any questions about the nature of this trial?
No questions.
Then I shall give you a week to prepare. Is this sufficient?
This is sufficient. Yes, ma'am.
These times have seemed genuinely dark. The Mistress of Night has loomed quite strongly as of late over the city, and I hope that judgment can be found fairly, for it is my sworn duty as High Lady of Tyr. Come, be before me again in a week's time. Bear only truth, no arms of deception, no blades made of your guile. I wish only to know what you have done. To the best of my abilities, I shall confer upon you the judgment of Tyr. We shall determine the weight of your souls.
Then may the scales tip in our favor.
When she said the weight of your souls, anything, any reactions?
To what?
She said the weight of your souls.
What do you mean reactions?
Like, was there a tingle in her eyes? Like, when she said that, was there a gravity there?
She is the
Was she
High
staring at
Judge.
anyone?
She is this High Lord is a noble woman whose whole deal is
judging
judging
people.
cases.
This painting earlier said the weight of your souls.
It did.
No.
Make me a religion check if you'd like to check on
Freaking
that.
me out, okay? Religion was only 11.
That's a common axiom of Tyr. He's
fair.
the judge. Though he's not the first to judge your souls, he judges the souls of the purest to find if they truly are worthy of Celestia.
Fair enough. Sorry.
I suggest you each prepare your defenses, seek out your allies as best you can here. And may the gods have mercy on your soul. Return to your ransomer's wing and prepare your defenses.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't know what I'm supposed to say here. I'd just
Okay.
leave.
That's fine.
We're fucked.
You guys have a week in the real world
Do we have a chance to?
and in the session.
Do we have a chance to speak privately?
Speak what?
Privately?
We're going back to our room.
To the judge?
No, to each other.
Yeah, you have a
Going back
whole
to the
week.
week.
I know.
Yes, that's the week.
Yes.
Is this conversation going to take more than a week?
I would like to talk to his meanie for 8 days. Actually.
I need 9.
That's fine.
Yeah.
The 9. Yeah, well, we're fucked. That was in character.
I agree.
Brought back.
It's mostly.
You have a list of charges,
Did a
and
lot of
I'll get
stuff.
you that full delineated list in that breakdown if you'd like.
I don't know about you guys, but
Just under 1,000 years.
I don't think I'll live that long.
How long do...
It's 3.5 million gold pieces, almost all of which is due to the damage to the northern wall.
Oh, where, what's his name? Blew shit up.
Yes, Zarathal's lair.
The cult blew things up. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're like, we weren't actually at fault.
Yeah.
The only way anybody's gonna believe us is if they cast Stone of Truth.
I think we should request that.
That was part of my plan.
I stole Martyr's Lament. Helped kill those guards.
Let's not admit fault.
I killed Zarathal with my own hand.
Did you notice that they didn't mention a charge for that?
No, they didn't mention Zarathal at all.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think the Eltz system seems particularly interested in being fair.
No, they have
I
a.
believe that was completely fair.
We came in and we did, do things that were illegal.
They did some
Like,
research. They
you-
knew that.
Yeah, the grease.
It's been a week as a
giant-
reminder.
They
Yeah.
knew that,
Here's the thing.
Yosef
I messed up that
was-
guard.
Mm-hmm.
The earliest charge against us was my fault.
I put a man in the basement.
You did improper
Yeah,
imprisonment.
But you put an
Yeah, because the entire
evil, an irrevocably evil person in a basement.
and
Okay.
I saw a
Who
guy
was she
got
to
nervous
judge
and
say
pushed him
he
off a
was
cliff.
evil, though?
Oh,
Okay.
I was going to gonna turn him in whenever we were done
So,
with that fight, but then we had
Confession,
another-
right? I'm the one that they're talking about the public intoxication.
I'm pretty sure those charges were
You're
dropped.
one of my
for-
closest friends, but
I'll
yeah,
admit
we
it.
fucking know.
Oh, it feels so good to let it out.
I'll actually let you guys know behind the screen. So was it Lily, eh?
Okay, tell me, is there a way that we can know who is kind of the direction of all these charges, or are we as a group like?
So
I
that
think I have the
the
majority.
970 years and it represents the largest individual length of jail time for any single member. That's not total divided amongst the whole Smiles. Some of you have charges as low as 100 years. Some of you have charges even lower than that.
Do we have the ability to discern?
Yes, that's the whole breakdown you'll be getting before next session.
Well,
So I'm going to jail forever.
jail time session.
Yeah, I have this knowing how this is going to go versus
Is it too late to break out?
here's the problem. We are definitely going to be rolling new characters.
No! No, this is it. We just have to figure out a way to break
I'm
out.
gonna write
Can
a.
your sister
If
tell
you
us?
really think that, I'm writing a letter.
Wait,
You
no,
can't stop me.
seriously, if we break out, we can never come back.
Back.
I think we're okay.
Woo!
with
Change
that.
the campaign.
We can never
Guys,
return.
guys. Screw Eltz.
We don't need a campaign.
Our
What
campaign
you're
is literally called Eltz, and we cannot return.
What you're
to that.
suggesting means we go hang out in Issel, where we're
No, we're going to the
And
King's
there's a
prison.
war going on.
This is our beach campaign, the King's playground.
Hey, Chalcedonia is going to exist in a few decades. You'll just have to wait it out.
No,
We'll be fine.
the Elven Pantheon's dead. What are you talking about?
'Cause we can have Chalcedonia without it.
Well,
We could figure out how to get to another plane and be there, or we could go to jail forever.
Matt, what
I don't
stage
know.
on the grief scale are we?
You're at the
Denial?
stage where
Regret.
each of you are going to take
Oh.
a moment for a bit of denial as we end our session.
Boo.
So you'll have to. I know. As much as you might protest, I'm gonna make you wait until next week.
We doth protest.
Several units of protest.
Elf.
Oh yeah, doth.
Elf.
Elf.
Yeah.
Elf.
We're gonna
I
hear
knew
a
it.
lot more about what your character can do in the very near future. Thank you. I know Amanda, you're patient, you get to do a lot here this session, but we're gonna be seeing a lot more of you, I think, very soon.
Oh yeah.
Any last comments we want to make before we end tonight's session, everybody?
Will that artwork be available on the Discord?
Why, yes, that artwork will be available in the Discord. Maybe even a little bit of a hint. Now, Amanda, just people who waited here, who are here live right now and haven't left, or maybe who are watching the YouTube later and want to know, do you want to share with us your class?
I am a cleric fighter.
How dare you? Actually, how dare you?
More flanking for me.
Multi-classed.
Welcome to the
5,
party.
Fighter 2.
Yeah. Welcome back,
Can we
Amanda.
kill her
Miss you.
PPC? This is my territory.
No.
Jake, we'll take it outside.
But we have been Stories to D4. We love that you guys came to join us, and we hope we'll see you this Sunday for Footnotes. We're really excited. We got some cool things to talk about. See you soon, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
fuck y'all.